estate. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. How are you? Where are you connecting from? So ask me any question. Feel free to come up if you want to. You want to join the panel. Feel free. We're having panelist session tonight, so feel free to join. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing tonight? We'll just be here for a little bit tonight. It's just been a busy day doing inspections of properties and just been setting up the community, the $1 million community that we are creating, and of course, all of the master classes and all of those trainings. But today we're going to be any question you might have about personal finance, about your real estate, about your smart investing. I am here to answer all your questions. You can come up if you want. So welcome, welcome. Let's see, Jen, welcome, and how are you? So any question, you can come up today. This is your time to ask any question. I'm just showing up. Tonight is not about teaching. Tonight is about you coming up. I teach all through the week, okay? So any questions that you might specifically have, now is your time to ask. Okay, now is the opportunity. We're talking about anything about your personal finance. You want to talk about credit. You want to talk about buying a property. Maya Listic, welcome. How are you? Tonight is about asking questions. Do you have any personal questions when it comes to real estate investing? When it comes to, thank you so much for the likes, and thank you for sharing the live. Now is your opportunity. Professional advice. If you can request to come up if you want to come up. Okay. You can request to come up. So now is the opportunity. Direct question. You don't know how to invest. You don't know how to open your account. Which ETF should you buy? Should you buy individual stocks? You're having issue with your credit card. Your credit. You're having all of those. Shewande by welcome. And every other person, thank you for tapping out the light. Thank you for sharing the light. Maya Listic, how are you doing? How is your Saturday coming? My Saturday has been busy. It's been about inspection of property. I had to inspect 5 properties today. Yeah, 4 of them I was very happy with. Okay, one of them was super crazy. Super crazy because I did meet people that the person that did not rent the house was who I met there, and you hear all the stories. So if you want to come up, you won't have any question at all, feel free to land here, get in here, make a record. Hello, welcome. Welcome. Tonight is about question and answer. You have any questions about your personal finance, you have any question about credit, investing, you don't know how to get started, you don't know how to talk, you want to buy real estate, now is your time, free opportunity. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. Look out for my video tomorrow. I put out videos every Sunday, so be on the lookout for that on YouTube, this long form video right there. So if you haven't subscribed, all 16 people that I have here on YouTube, you haven't subscribed, I don't know what you're doing, because yes, you are just met the person that's going to teach you how to build wealth the right way. If you're just meeting me, I'm Dr. Lina, doctor of academics, doctor of business, and doctor of doctor of technology. My brain is just so, it's been a busy day, and I help professional build wealth in right order, right? You want to build wealth through investing. Once we know that your salary just pays bills, it just means that you're working to pay bills. What really builds wealth is what some of those money that you put aside towards asset that is cash flowing, that can give you the freedom that you need, and that's how you build wealth. Okay, so that's what we are here to talk about. If you have any question, refresh, welcome. Maya Listic, welcome. Treasure, Princess Jumbo, welcome. Thank you all for tapping out the light. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. Now that's on YouTube and on TikTok on the other side. Consider follow as well. And thank you all for tapping out the live. Thank you for sharing the live. So if you want to request to come up, you have any question at all, now is your time. Now is your time. I talk about, if you're just meeting me, we talk about investing, smart investing, investing the right way. How do you open your accounts? What sort of investment class should you invest in? How much does it require for you to invest? Anything around that. Then in terms of your credit, okay, do you have issues maybe life has, life was life, and at some point you did not manage your credit card very well. Now is your time to ask question about that, how to repair your credit, or how do you need to build wealth the right way, the right order, or should you choose stock investing, or do you start with real estate, or do you just even have questions about buying real estate? Now is your time. I manage and own double-digit real estate portfolio. So that's my profile right there. And I am a serial investor. So if you want to build wealth the right way, yes, you have just met the right person. Okay, Mary Osilima, welcome, welcome here. Treasure Vault, welcome again. And every other person on YouTube, welcome, welcome here. If you haven't subscribed, consider doing that. And if you have any question at all, tonight is just about question and answer. Let me know. If you want to request or feel free, just make a request. I think Mayalistic did. Hi, Mayalistic. Awesome. Welcome, welcome. Adavio, welcome. Great. Hello, Mayalistic. You can unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself. And for everybody on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed, drop your
Hi, good
questions.
evening.
Good evening, Mayalistic. How are you?
I'm good. And
Awesome.
you?
I'm good. I'm good. My day has been
Oh,
busy. Okay, right.
I've been looking to buy a property here in Michigan, and it's been a year. So recently, Mama, excuse, go and do stuff. Recently, I found one because I'm just looking at particular where I live. It's kind of safe. So I found one that was built 1948. So, but it was listed for 130. It was listed for $139. So I
139,000 or 139. Okay,
$139,000.
okay.
So I contacted my realtor. So she told me, hey, let's put an offer for 136. Somebody had already put an offer for 135. So when I got back home, because I was at work when she called me, I said, okay, do that. But when I got back home, I told her to wait. So I look at the property. It was built 1948, and the outside wasn't looking great. So I went to tour the property too with her. So I now told her, no, I can't put an offer for that amount. So she said, okay, how much do you want to? I told her, let's put an offer for 120. And she said somebody already put an offer for 135 that is going to be rejected. I said, no, I'm doing 120. So she put an offer for me. So it was rejected. So later, she told me that the offer was rejected. Yeah, she was like, okay, let's do 130 or something. So I was like, no, 130. And I said, no, let's do 125. So I was now wondering. So when she put an offer for 125, it was accepted. I was wondering what happened to the first offer. If somebody had already put an offer for 135, why will she not accept mine? So I now said she wanted to bring her own, inspection and all that. I said, no, I'm going to get my private, to inspect. So I told her if anything is wrong with the property, because there's a big tree that is a threat to the house. I said, if anything, if after inspection, if anything is wrong, will a credit be given to me? It was like, no, they already gave that at the lowest, you know, price, like at 125, just like a good deal. So I looked at it. I said, no. She doesn't have me at her back. I think she's on for the seller. She's not even looking
Out
out
for
for
you.
me. Yeah. So I decided to no, I'm not okay. What happened again? So I asked ChatGPT because I don't really know about this. That is just kind of my first time. I said, there is no sales agreement. Okay, if an offer is accepted, I'm supposed to get the seller is supposed to sign an agreement. So I asked ChatGPT because there's this earliest money $2,000 I'm supposed to pay, and then she sent me the company where she worked to pay in that $2,000. So I was supposed to pay it while I was at work. I said, no, let me just get home. So when I got home, I made the research. I asked ChatGPT. It was like, no, I'm supposed to have paid that $2,000. in escrow accounts. Do you understand? That I should ask her. So I now ask her, who am I paying this $2,000 to? He said, it's their company's account. I said, okay, where is the purchase sales or
Agreement.
whatever purchase agreement? There is nothing like that. She said, as long as the offer is already accepted, there is nothing. You understand? So I told her, no, I'm no more interested. I'm backing out. So that's how, I just backed out. And since then, she was like worried. What happened? What happened? Tell me, what happened? What happened? I didn't explain anything. I didn't tell her anything. So I just let her go.
You actually took a good because when something doesn't feel right, if your instinct tells you that something doesn't feel right, then there's chances that it's not right. Okay. Two things. First of all, is in terms of pricing. Okay. How did you know that 125 was a good deal for you, or what? Whenever you put in an offer, what was your basis of the 125?
Because she told me the house is close to where I live, which is safe because Detroit area is not really a safe place. So, but where I live, it's safe. So there is a house that came out. I knew each time, a house comes out within 2-3 days. They usually have like 20 offers. So there is a house that came out. It was pretty low, like less than $100,000. So I asked her, even without touring the house, I told her, please just put an offer. So that house was listed for $90,000. So I told her to put an offer for 110. Unfortunately for us, somebody put an offer for 125 because I knew it was low. Do you understand? Somebody put an offer for 125 because they already had like 20 offers. Within 24 hours, that house came out. So the person that got put in 125, had the property, and she was like, she told me to put like 120, 125. That the house, the house already had a lot of offer. So that's it. Within the hood, it's a safe place. So any house that comes out, within a tickle of eyes,
It's gone.
That's why I was looking at that one, but the body of the house is not looking good, and there is a threat that needs to be cut off.
Okay.
And it's the approximate, like I asked ChatGPT the amount it takes to cut off the trees. Like we are looking at 4,000, 5,000. The roof of that house needs to be changed, which will cost 1.5 for cutting, or $2,000. But the roof, like we are estimating it at $5,000 or thereabouts. So you see, if you add it additional to that, it makes the price to go up.
So is this okay? I think this should have been my first question. Are you using this for rental, or is it?
It's for rental.
Okay, and is it okay? So when you are buying a property, two things or three things is just so, because you want to know what is the property comps, what is the what are the comparable, and I think you did check it. I'm not saying because your own neighborhood might be different from these other neighborhood. You understand what I mean? So two different neighborhoods. So it has to be comparable properties within that same neighborhood. What have they sold in the past 1 year? Okay, something of that nature. And most of the realtors, they have if this person is a good realtor, they have their tool that they use. But you can actually go on Zillow, okay, or go on Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com, okay, three of those, and put that address. It would give you some ideas of how you can, what should be the price, like what are comparable properties within that neighborhood. Okay, that would help you determine. ChatGPT would not tell you the accurate. I mean, it doesn't have the entire database. Okay, it will give you an estimate because it would give you a rough, but you see, this particular platform, all of this platform, they house how much the estimated prices at which properties have been sold. I've been give me 1 second. Estimated prices at which it has been sold and rented in the past 5 years, 10. You would see there. So that's the first way that you would determine if your 125 is a good one. But if you have a good realtor, like I said, they have the tool that is even almost accurate, definite, because what you see on that platform, they typically will not put the final price that is sold, like to the exact dollar. But the realtors tool does have that, okay? So that's one. Then the other second way of you determining, since it's an investment property, is you are also looking at the rental comps. Okay, you can also use that same tool to determine that. All right, you would see it that you just put the address of the property. It will give you what it should be. Then the third thing is that particular property days on market in that neighborhood. How many days does it take? Okay, to rent it out. Then the other thing that is very, very important is because it's the what is the when I've said rental come is how much can you rent it for? What's the price? So typically there's something called 1% rule when it comes to real estate. I Marcel, how are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome from Brazil. So the other daughter of Zion, hey, thank you so much for the follow. How are you doing? So the rental comes, you want to know how much does it rent for. In the rule of thumb, when we're talking about real estate investor, we always look at 1% rule. What does 1% rule means? So let's assume that particular property is at 125,000, like you said. It should be rented for at least 1250 or 1200 within that range. Okay, so it might not be exactly one. So you need to do all of those. So you want to know that, okay, is this a good purchase? That's the first thing you want to even know before you even look at it. The rental comes, the property comes, those two things. Then you know that with that you are able to pay the mortgage and still have a little bit in terms of cash flow. Okay, because you already said it's a safe neighborhood, so chances of appreciation is also there for that particular property. So that's how you determine, you determine if it's a good one. Then in terms of the body, really, I'm not so familiar with Michigan, or if the properties are, I think they're old property, or like Texas, you see a whole lot of new properties that is available, new builds, right? When you say body, roof is very expensive and you should be able to get some credit back, right? From the, or except they have priced it in and it's already at the rock bottom, right? So, but there is no reason why you cannot negotiate. The best they can say is a no. That's it, right? If a realtor has you that's why you need to work with realtors that are very investor friendly, right? Because the person will be able to determine to tell you that, okay, this particular property, even though it's 125, I'll go back. Even if it's $1,000 they're going to give you, it is something, versus not even asking at all. Like I said, the best they can do is they would say no, right? That's what they would do. Okay, and at least you would say you tried. But ultimately, you will be able to know when you are backing out of this property. Okay, you will not be assuming, okay, why did they buy, why did they say you should, why is the other person, why did the other person not buy, or why is it still staying in the market? If you've already done this analysis that I talked about, it will be easier for you to say, okay, regardless if everybody is not look. Hi everyone, hi. My day has been busy, right? I had 5 inspections. Now you would even if every other person backs out, so far you have done your calculation and it's still looking fantastic to you on paper, then you're good, because you're not every other person. Every other person might not have the good credit, they might not have the money. You don't know, anybody has their reason for whatever. Now, in terms of, let me address the other one. There has to be an agreement, okay? As a good realtor, whenever you are putting in an offer, in short, at the point when they are taking you over or taking you as a client, there's a documentation that needs to be like a contract between the two of you and the realtor or the realtor's agency, where you sign. And whenever you're putting an offer into a property, okay, they would, that same is the same trail, the way you sign, that's the same trail that they will use to put the information in to say that this person is putting an offer of 125,000, right? And you would also put an option fee, which you can be able upon inspection, because I know that some people waive. There are instances where you can waive the right as well to say, okay, you are taking it as is, but it would have been stated in that agreement. There is the option of, is it 2 weeks or 10 days or something, or 5 days options period, where you can actually back out from this property because it gives you room for normal, for inspections, right? That's where you bring the inspection in and you can actually back out or negotiate with the seller, right? So those are the things. So your instincts are very, very great. Good that you never got you don't have the knowledge. You're doing it for the first time, but you're doing things right because you've realized that something doesn't look right. To me, it doesn't look right. Is it that the realtor is a new person and she doesn't know the process, or it's just like you thought as well?
No, she said she's been doing it for 15 years.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but I think she's on the seller's side.
yeah, that's
Because
it.
when I told her that because she wanted me to use the inspector, I said no. I said in case there is anything wrong, I will get maybe something. She said no, it's already on a good deal. Trust me, that stuff is still in the market.
Oh, okay. See, yeah, thank God you dodged a bullet. You did dodge a bullet. So, but yeah, you dodged a bullet and you did a good thing because you worked too hard for your money for somebody to rob you off of your money. And that's what I say whenever we are talking about real estate. That's the difference between real estate and the stock market or ETFs that I always talk about. Stock market is just an easy, you open the account, you can open the account, you put more your money immediately, and that's it. But when it comes to real estate, all those things that we are talking about, it's very, very crucial, yeah, because and really don't really focus on when you say the body, like the tree, like all those trees. Just make sure that the root is not going into the foundation, because the risk that I see with the root is the with the tree is the roots going, on growing all the way, or if it's too close to the house, it can go all the way to the foundation, like the driveway towards the house as well. And then that's where some people start having foundation issue. But if it's just the branches and all of that, and it's just a 1,000, it's not that's not a deal breaker. If you understand what I mean, it's just like when you are looking at the sheetrock and whatever. So things, like I always say, is 5 things. Remember what I always say. Look at it from the foundation. Is the foundation solid? The roof, like you said, it needs replacement, so you should be able to get some credit back for that. Maybe not everything, but share, right? So you were very spot on, you saying that the realtor was not, it was on the seller side. So the roof is the second thing. The third is HVAC. That thing is not cheap. That thing is not cheap. Like, it's like $8,000, $10,000, depending, like a 3.5 what's it called? What's the capacity? The 3.5 capacity, the one that we change, even though the HVAC guy is my very good friend, and I said I don't have money because I just changed one in another property. He did it for $8,000, right? $8,000. And that is him looking for all of the distance, and he's my very, very close friend because he's also a fellow real estate investor. That the other part of it is electrical. There's one of the houses that I'm dealing with electrical right now. We've tried to change the circuit breaker, and it's still an issue. Like, we don't know. We're still trying to figure out, and what the risk there is that it could become fire. It could be a fire incident. So that's the other one. Then the fifth one is plumbing. It could lead to flooding, just like the other one being fire. The other one could lead to flooding. And then of course you need to relocate the tenant and all of that within the tenancy landlord statute. So those are things that you need to take into account. So yes, you're absolutely right, but don't let that deter you. What I would say is, it doesn't, just you keep looking like whatever you're doing right now. Think about maybe not that realtor, okay, because he's already breached the trust, okay, because it starts with trust. Start looking at other realtors that you can work with, preferably always ask them, if they are, their profile, are they investor friendly? Because an investor friendly person, realtor, would understand what you're saying. Okay, all those things that you're saying, he knows that it's for business, it's not for personal use. What you're looking for as a personal, as an homeowner, is different from an investor. The two different things, right? Homeowner is looking at aesthetics, but the investor is looking at the money, is looking at it as a business. So they're two different things.
All right.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
yeah, the property comes, taking that into account. The rental comes, take it into account. Remember the 1% rule, and of course, put your use a mortgage calculator to know what your mortgage is, estimating what you think your interest could be, right? Put it there. Then always remember all of those expenses that there's also going, if you are putting 20% down, you don't have property mortgage insurance, which is another, is it 10%, or I don't know the percentage of the property mortgage insurance that you pay, but then if you are doing 3.5%, there's property mortgage insurance on top of the normal homeowners insurance. So my YouTube community, how are you? So question and answer tonight. Subscribe if you haven't. Like, put in the comment section if you have any question. Real estate investing, smart investing that we talk about here, credit, anything that about wealth building at all, or just anything. Just ask your question, and I hope we all know that either we're talking about investing, we're talking about wealth building. It is universal across board. If anybody, there's no country that we don't pay taxes, there's no country that we don't work to get paycheck, there's no country that we don't make money. It's everywhere. If anybody wants to come up again, Myalistic, is there any other question? Any other question? But that's a solid one. Yeah, you can stay there, and thank you for typing out the live. Anyone that wants to come up again, any question is your question and answer time. I have been teaching all week. Anything that you want to ask, yeah, and we'll be doing a free real estate training. I'm thinking chances that it's going to be April 11th, so mark the date. But I'm finalizing. It's been a busy day for me because I had to do I had to do inspection in 5 properties today. 4 of them were great. One of them was interesting because whoever we rented the house to cannot be found. So we are still looking for we're still looking for the person, that we rented house to. We met a different set of people in the house. So those are things that you would see, and that's the beauty of real estate. You see the good, bad, and the ugly. And I got to another house, and the house is like, and I'm like, oh my goodness. You enter the house and you be like, can I stay here? Can I live here? Those are the beautiful things when it comes to real estate, and you meeting the families and all of that. Yeah. Feel free to request up, request up. So Mylistic, so what's your next step? What's your next goal right now? Are you searching? Is it,
Yeah, I'm still searching.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm searching seriously, and I'm doing cash, not really mortgage.
That's fantastic.
So that's why I was scared, because when she said I should pay into her own, where she works, the company's account, I was like, no. That's why.
Oh yeah. So it should be.
When you're not doing cash, if it was mortgage, probably I would have proceeded. When you're doing cash, you just be a little careful.
Yes. It should be held in escrow. Actually, you're right. It should be held in escrow.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah, I paid 212 IKGM.
Yeah, and then when I told her, she now was like, she now sent me a number to call.
Okay.
Do you understand? So she now sent me a number to call. So he said that if I had paid the money, she will pay it to the seller account.
The seller account? No, you cannot. No.
Either the price of that property, either maybe the seller accepted at 120. I don't know. I just felt something.
No, I mean, the seller cannot accept at 120, right? Except that it's almost like she's doing wholesaling. But even at that, because you see it in the documents, that one is even, you see all those numbers, that one goes through title. everything is done. It's not done by the realtor, it's not done by the seller. All of the documentation, pricing, all of those things, those ones goes to title. But my fear is that I don't now know. I mean, I don't know our own plans. Is she going to go
Yeah,
through
she said
title?
their company is going to provide the title company.
Yeah, well, yes, I know. Because everything there's no way she will hold anything back. You know what I mean? She will not hold a single dollar back. But your instinct is right, because if our property is still on the market right now, there's a reason why it's still on the market. You know what I mean? There's a reason why it's still on the market. And I mean, the other property that you saw just close to the neighborhood as well went under 24 hours, but this one remains on the market. So there's something that is really not clear. There's something that is really not clear about it. But you can look into it again. You can use another realtor. That's the other way. You can, if the house is still there and you do your numbers, you do the property comes, it appears good. Why not? If not, go get another realtor to look into it, and let's see. You understand what I mean? By just though yeah, check the numbers if it checks out, because you need to know what your numbers are, regardless of whatever price they call it. Don't just create number in the head.
The house is valued at it's at 110, but because it was fully renovated and all that, yeah.
So if it's 110, then it's 110. You know what I mean? If it's 110, it's 110. The highest you can put is 150. Put another 5K on it. You see, that's the problem. 15K above the asking price, above the value. You have already, that's like 15K of equity that you are losing on that particular property already. Because if another property sold for 90,000, even let's assume that it's already renovated. So are you saying that they renovated it with $35,000? So think about it that way. So you are already going above, and that's the thing. Because right now you even said that the value is 110,000. So where's the 120? What's the 15 coming from? Does that make sense? Yeah, where's the extra 15? The other one sold for 90. So the one that was not renovated sold for 90. This one is selling for, the value is 110 because it's renovated. So where's the extra 15,000 coming from? And that's how you analyze it. The fear of missing out is one of the major problems. And that's where, remember when I always say that you need to buy it right. Because now, if your property does not now double its value in 10 years, you would say, oh, you know what, whatever about this thing is wrong. It's not true about the property doubling its value. But really, you've already taken 15,000 out of, what's it called? Let's say the property is worth 100,000. 15,000 already out of, what's it called? Out of 200,000 that you would have doubled, right? The 15,000. That already took how many years out of, that's almost 2 years reduced from the value of the property. Does that make, so do not, regardless, I know if you are ready right now, the best thing you can, just keep searching, okay? Keep searching, and trust me, you remember the one with the 90,000, it will come true. Another thing that you can do is look for wholesalers around your neighborhood, right? I don't think my wholesalers, they operate internationally. Not international, nationally, right? But I'm not sure. I've asked them for the list of states where they operate. I know, because there was somebody that was going to buy from, is it Minneapolis or Minnesota, right? And she could not find realtor, so she couldn't find an wholesaler. So she decided to say that she was going to Indianapolis. So my wholesalers do operate in Indianapolis. So the reason why I talk about wholesalers, and I hope you know wholesalers, right? You know who wholesalers are, right?
Yeah, I heard it from you, so I researched about it. Yeah.
Wholesalers are basically people that they would, like, this house has been in the market, right? Like this particular house. They will now go straight to the landlord and tell the landlord, you know what, are you really interested in selling this house quickly? You want it to go? And of course the landlord, at this time, nobody's asking about the property. So the landlord will be like, okay, you know what? Okay, I'm okay to give it at maybe 95,000 because this person is going to pay cash. And the fact that you're actually paying cash is actually a negotiation tool for you, because they know that there's cash, it will not go through the bank, so there's no way that deal is going to fall through. So you should have a better negotiating power. If somebody is going to use the bank, the person is paying 125,000, you should be paying 115,000, because cash is king. Yes, cash is king. So you should be paying way lower, because a whole lot of things are not going to, all of those delay. You can close, instead of waiting 30 days to close, you can close under 15 days, 20 days. So those are things, I always use.
They wanted to close me 2 days after the
Yeah,
acceptance.
yes,
I also searched if it's possible, because I thought, okay,
yes,
what
it's
about the
possible.
title?
It's
What about other procedures, that I want to go before? They were like, okay, it's possible to close because it's cash, to close under 2 days.
the thing. The only time, yes, I've closed under 2 days, right? However, the reason why I closed under 2 days is because my wholesaler already bought it as their own, right? From the seller. So they've already done all of the due diligence. So I'm buying from this wholesaler that is just basically, it's just like, it's called double close when it comes to, with wholesaling, because they have bought it, right? But we are closing almost within the same period as well. Because remember, wholesaler is one intermediary. The wholesaler in this case, my own case, they've already bought it as the owner. But instead of them just putting it on contract, which is the typical way, but because they're a very big, large company, they have bought it, right? Done all those due diligence that you are talking about, check the title, it's gone through all of that, and then they are able to like transfer the clean old information, because it's gone through the old due diligence within within that period, and then they were able to close under 2 days. So
So it's possible.
I don't know, except they've already done the due diligence. I typically would think that I don't know, maybe their title company would, because if he has HOA takes certain days. He has to go through title insurance. They have to go through all of the record with county. Those are the things that title gets to do. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
the chances of it, ideally, it takes, even the banks, it takes like 30 days with the bank. You know what I mean? So in this case, 2 days is, there's something not so, but like I said, I don't want to say no, because that's Michigan.
Like
This
I
is
said,
Texas.
probably maybe maybe I just felt maybe the company already purchased. Yeah, that's what I felt, because since they just wanted me to pay that 2,000 naira to their company account. You see?
Yeah, so there's just something that they're not saying. So you figured it that there's something that they're not saying. That's what I can say. There's just something, but yeah, so using wholesalers, you'll be surprised that the person will not negotiate on your behalf and all of that, and you're buying it lower than what it is on MLS. What it is that you are seeing out there. And that's the way I buy property. I can never buy property above the market price. I never.
Yes, from you. I learned a lot from you
I
when you were saying that you already have equity. Like when you buy something less than the house, the value of the property, you already accrued equity, like built up equity. I'm like, okay, it's safer to buy than to buy above the value, the market value.
So yeah, absolutely, your
So when
instinct
you
is
buy above the market value, there is no equity at all. I learned from your live stream
yeah.
when I listened. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. So and that's why you would see some people, they would say they fail on real estate, but you need to get that. The thing about it is the education you get with it. Like, and I'm going to be teaching that in the training. I definitely be teaching that, because getting the wholesaler. Part 212. How are you doing? How are you tonight? So, and if you want to come up, part 212, today is just question and answer. we'll soon be wrapping up. I just wanted to show up tonight just to see everyone, and just to answer questions and answer, question and answer anything smart investing, real estate, any questions you might have. Yeah, feel free to come on, request up, and I will bring you up just like I have my listing. So it's that's just the ideal way you can actually do it. Ideal way, because trust me, if you already have equity in it, right? Like you are paying above. What I teach is you have to pay below. You have to pay below. Even if you, because most of the properties I already have $50,000 in there, 40,000. The least I would have, and I must love that house, is $30,000. Just the same way the strategies that the fix and flip gets to do, right? Because they are buying and selling. So how are they going to make money if they already bought at what the market price? You know what I mean? Because they are selling immediately. So they're just buying it, fix it, and they're selling it almost within the next 20, 30, 40, 60, 90 days. So if they buy it at 125, and the price of the property is worth 100,000, I mean 110,000. Just think about it that way. Yeah. Echo of Zion, welcome. Yeah. If anybody, Treasure Vault, Motto, Pack 212, anybody wants to come or just request up, and just request up if you want to. And at this point, let me even invite everyone. So just in case, for people that don't know how to invite up, you can get the request. And if you want to, if you have any question at all, yeah. But you're doing a good job, my Holistic. Just keep checking online. Check wholesalers within Michigan, and start analyzing deals. Like just look online. Okay, look at this property, and you're like, okay, what is the property? Come try to see if you can figure it out. The other part of it, you can also check, okay, what's the rental costs, all those things that we're saying. But like I said, the real estate trading, the buying your first rental within 30 days, even with your 9 to 5, the training, the free training, I think it's going to be April 11th, but we're still finalizing everything about it. So you should be able to learn. Yeah, you should be able to learn, and then you can later on join the if you still want hand holding, or you want to still ongoing, you can join the $1 Million League right after, in terms of the community. And then so we can be walking through the process one-on-one, ask questions and all of that, so that you can walk through that journey with you. Once you do one and you do two, then once you are able to successfully do one, you will make mistakes. It's okay. But just make sure that whatever mistake you are making, it's not going to cost you significantly in terms of dollars. And you are not getting crazy tenants. You are not, because those are things.
That's another scary thing. I'm just, before I was like, dealing with tenants is going to be terrible, because some of them, they won't pay, and some will mess up your house and all that. So but it's risky not to take a risk.
That's it. I told you the story of how I lost close to like 100,000 in the stock market, right? If you are talking about that, then I shouldn't even be anything invested. I should just be putting my money under my pillow, right?
Some people will do that.
Exactly, but. Yes, but not investing is not even an option, because you are losing your money to inflation. Every single, 2.5, 3%, you're losing it to inflation. And aside the fact that it's not growing, one is that it's not growing.
They don't even pay any interest, not even 0.0. The first time I got $50, I was like, is this a mistake?
Where did you get it from?
I was so shocked that I got $50 interest.
No, but now you can.
I've not gotten anything from them. That was the first time and the last ever.
Okay, if you have been following me, my holistic, you would have had a higher savings account. So there is no reason.
I know of that, but I looked at it like you said, the interest is also small.
It's 3.5 to 3 to 5%.
Nigeria is better. I'm from Nigeria. I have some couple of naira in Nigeria accounts, and that's the interest is not even, it's just in savings accounts. Nigeria only have savings and the other one, I think savings accounts. Yeah, savings and checking account or something like that, they do have. So the money I have in Nigeria is savings account, and every month the money I get just from Zenith Bank is not even high yield. Just ordinary bank in Nigeria. So Nigerians pay a lot.
How much is the interest?
Because if you put like 10,000, how much are you going to be getting in a year?
No, how much is the interest that you're getting?
Nigeria, some of them pay as much as 30-40%.
There's no way they will pay you 30-40%. It's not possible. So I tell you, the best you can.
Big bank.
I'm telling you, the treasury. Maybe some of those kind of things that are risky, right? It's not. Those are not traditional, right? I can tell you, treasury bills. There's treasury bills. There's secondary market, primary market. What you can get as of January last year, you get close to 27%, 28%. As of now, it's between 18 to 20%, right? So I'm telling you, like firsthand, right? Yes, that's what you'll get. But when you're talking about 30-40%, you need to be very careful, because you know what I'm saying. You don't know what are they using your money for. That's why I said, what sort of product, okay? Be careful because it could be, you need to be sure of the product. But when we're talking about treasury bills, right, secondary or primary, just like fixed deposit here in America, right, primary or secondary means that you are loaning your money to the government and they're going to be returning it with interest. So you would get right now I think it's between 18 to 20%. That's what you get. But as of last year, it was close to like 28% last year, January. So yeah, but not 40%. Be careful. I don't know what that is. I'm not saying it's not true, but there's so many products where they would say they do it for people traveling or something. What's it called? People, this certificate or whatever, money that they need to put in the account. What do they call it? Money. You understand what I mean, right? That they will use it to fund the account, and just be careful to know what they're using your money for, because you protection first. Yeah. But treasury bill, like 25%, 20 is 18-20%. It's absolutely amazing. So you're right. But here in America, Citibank is not going to give you a significant interest. Okay. So Capital One will give you 3.3%. So on your $10,000, you're going to get you're getting $330 every single year, and you're getting it every month, right? That's what you're getting every month. So it means that you're getting maybe like $30 thereabout. That's what you get. $30, $27 thereabout. That's what you get on your 10,000 every single month. So that's it. That's otherwise, like the S&P 500 I talk about, which is pretty low right now. It's VO is, I think, is at 570 or 590 something.
I bought that $623.
Yes, so dollar cost. Now is your time to dollar cost average. Okay, dollar cost average. I am also still dollar cost averaging. If you have money, just buy a little bit. It's like 585 right now because of the oil, and we all know where it's going back to. We know. So if that would help you reduce your cost, your high cost that you have, it helps you to bring it down. So if you buy more, it will bring it to maybe like a 600. And if you are keeping it long term, okay, it really doesn't matter. I bought that same VO that you said you bought at 625. I bought it at 3. I bought at 285. I bought at 300. So you know what I mean. So I know it means that it's doubled, and it's not like 10 years ago. It's not like It's not like you can go and look at it. You can go and look at the trend. You would see what I'm saying.
It will go up.
Yes.
Because of
the oil.
The oil stuff.
Yes, exactly. The war. Yeah, exactly. So, but you're doing well. You're absolutely doing well because you're doing the smart investing and you're getting the education. that you need. I
I'm
mean,
just learning online when I see, just like your platform and others. So that's
mm-hmm,
how I learned, and then I opened because the first time I heard it was a Nigerian woman that was, that I came across a platform where she
mm-hmm,
said, oh, ETF. She was talking more of ETF.
mm-hmm.
So I called Fidelity. I already have 401k. With them. So I called them and they were like, what do you want to open? I didn't even know nothing. So I was like, okay, I have $200. She said, what do you want to buy? I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. It was like you have to go to watch YouTube video. The man didn't understand me. I didn't understand what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, you have to just go and watch YouTube videos. So after watching YouTube videos, so I now told him, I said, okay, just do $1,000. So after everything, $1,000 was deducted. So I forgot about it because I don't even know what to buy. He was asking me, what do you want to buy? I don't know about SP, So
S&P
later, I
500.
came across TikTok again, couple of people's videos. So I stood on their live, listening to their live stream. And the guy was talking about S&P 500, S&P 500. So I went back. So I now went back, downloaded the Fidelity app now on my phone, tried to do it on my own. I couldn't. So I called the customer service. So she directed me and she was like, what do you want to buy? I said S&P 500. And she was like, okay, this
Which
is
of them? The question is, which of the S&P 500?
It's S&P 500, VOO.
That S&P 500, the VO is a product of Vanguard, right? That's
Yes,
a brokerage
I
firm.
bought VOO.
Then there's also IVV, a product of, I think, BlackRock, right? It's still S&P 500. Then there is SPY. It's a product of State Street. It's still S&P 500. It's just so they're just.
The one I bought.
It's okay, whichever one you bought.
But
It's,
you know the good part of it.
Mm-hmm.
When I went back to check the $1,000 that I put in that account that I left, I didn't even invest. I just left it on Fidelity. And when I went back to check, that $1,000 multiplied to $2,000. I was like, if I had put 50K, so I would have gotten extra 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I now bought that S&P 500. I didn't even invest that $1,000. Because he was asking me, what do you want to buy? I don't know what to buy.
Yeah.
So I just left it there. So when I checked, it was like after a year, it multiplied to a $1,000. I was like, oh, this thing paid. So if I had put in a lot of money, I would have got it.
See, whenever I say that, when people ask, so which of them? By the way, Fidelity they will not put it in cash. They put it in something. It's like their fund. It's like equivalent of cash, but it's their own fund. That's what they put it in. So that's why you're seeing the growth. Now, see, whenever I say that, when people say that, okay, Dr. Lina, which one should I buy? How do I invest? Should I start with real estate or? I always say that when you start with ETF first and use it to build your capital. See the confidence that you have now, because you opened it, you put it there, you see that, oh, this money can actually grow, right? Now you now boost your confidence to say that, oh, you know what? So I can actually put 50,000. I put 1,000. I got 2,000. So if I put 50,000, I'll put 100,000. That's what it helps you. That's what helps you to do it. Even if I talk about it, there's a limit to what I can say. But this is now hands-on. Does that make sense? It's now hands-on. You put it there. You see the results yourself. Say, okay. So if I can get 1,000 can become 2,000. So 100,000 can become 200,000. 1 million will become 2 million. That's it. And that's what is even giving you the confidence to think about real estate now. But if you are going to real estate and, you are going through all of this, the old realtor that messed up things, trust me, you would still, by now, you still not have invested anything. Does that make sense? You wouldn't. You would have still be contemplating and be saying, oh, I'm going to invest tomorrow. But guess what? Right now, you're investing. The money for the real estate is already your ETF. You've already put it there.
It's not in the ETF. It's
Okay.
in the bank. And that it didn't even yield anything.
No, put it in an IE savings account. Just transfer it to Capital One. at least Citibank is almost equivalent to Capital One. So if you don't want to do so far, you don't want to do all of those things, that's fine. Do Capital One. It's a strong bank, it's a solid bank. You can walk in there, but it gives you 3.3%. So that's the least. That's the least you can do. There's not even discussion as we are talking tonight, right? Open the account, and because you are losing money, you are basically losing money.
Inflation.
Yeah, because if you're saying that 125,000 you wanted to buy the property in cash, that means that 125,000 is just sitting there. So that let's even say 100,000 at 3 point that you would have gotten 3,300. You get 3,300 for a whole year, right? You get at least you get at least $4,000. That's what you get.
That's something.
Are you telling me it's the 4,000 that's the reason why you never bought the house? Remember, that's the reason, because you want something for the roof, right? You said what if they can give you money for the roof? You'd have bought the house. But look at you, that's money right there.
I told her, I said, listen, if the inspector, if anything is found wrong with whatever, am I going to get a credit back or at least something?
Mm-hmm.
But she said, no, the house is already on a good deal. You see, it means that she's on the seller side.
Yeah.
She's not saying, okay, let me talk to the seller and see. Do you understand? And that's why I didn't want her to use her own inspector for me. I thought it was like I have somebody. I said no.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So if she had told me, okay, I'm going to talk to the seller, and then if she has told me, oh, I spoke to her, she said no, she's not. She just instantly told me, no, he's already on a good deal.
Yeah, you already said.
I was scared.
Yeah,
of course, it's my first time.
And she's probably representing the seller and also representing you. You know what I mean? That's also another option. She's representing both.
I like that most of them do work for the seller, because they hire the property, they hire their commission.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but it's supposed to be disclosed. They should disclose that. They need to disclose it to you that, okay, because there is almost a conflict right there. You need to know that this person is
protected. I don't know much, because there is no, like, all this thing you're talking about, ask the roof, ask plumber, ask all that. She knows that I'm just like more, even though it's going to be for rent, but I'm more concerned about the look, the parlor size and all.
No.
So she knows that I'm a novice, that I don't really know much about, because the kind of questions you do ask, or you will ask her, I don't ask that kind of questions. It's recently that I started asking questions like the roof is old and this blah 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 and all that, because the more I come on TikTok, the more I learn. I haven't. I didn't pay for, and that's how we make mistake. You don't want to pay, and you just want to venture into it, and then you.
and you're very
on TikTok,
and you're very, very correct. You want to invest in 125,000, but you don't want to pay $100 or $200. I literally paid somebody today. I'm building the stores, like that's what I've been, aside for the inspection. The minute I came from inspection, I've been on the phone for like 4 hours with somebody that is literally, what are they doing? Building the stores, because I'm building the community, I'm building the stores, right? I can do it myself, but this person is like almost like a pro. So why should I can do it the wrong way. You know what I mean? So at times you might just be able to, it's good to learn the free stuff. I always say it, go and exhaust the free stuff, right? First, I always say, go to my YouTube channel, go look at the video, watch it there. So if you are just starting, it's a good thing. Go do that, right? But if you now still think that, okay, you are going forward, you still need, especially when it comes to real estate with ETFs and all of those things, that one is much easier. Hi, how are you, Leroy? It's easier. But when it comes to real estate, if you think that there's some still, after you did all those training, there's still knowledge gap, do not make that mistake. Make sure, whenever I wanted to start real estate years ago, I paid to get that training. I did, not even missing words or whatever. I did. There are trainings that whenever, when, even though social media wasn't really my thing and all of that, I actually got someone to, like, okay, sit down in class, like, as a student, to understand, from whoever is the professional, because the mistakes that this person made, you can avoid those mistakes. That's the way I always look at it. The mistake that this person made, I can avoid it. That's what I'm paying for. So, like, the like, there's some things that I've gone through right now. Like, you don't want to know. Like, there's some things that there was somebody, I'll give you the story. There's one tenant that I reviewed the application of, even the realtor. There's no way the realtor would have caught this. The person wanted to rent a house from me. They submitted the application, did everything, saw the house. She came, like, to view the house, looked at the house. She said, okay, she would take the house. Everything, the record was good on paper, 100%. Everything good on paper. And then she says, oh, you know what? I want to move next week or something, which was not a red flag for me. People that want to do the wrong thing, they want to move now, now, now. Always, that's also a clue for you. When somebody wants to say, I want to move tomorrow, it doesn't work like, just think about it. If you want to move from one place to the other, you would take time. Is it that they are going through eviction? They don't want it to get to the record before you see it, or or there's something. They want to use it for fraud, all those kind of things. So her own was very, 1 week, record was good, everything checked out on paper. And then I was like, okay. Then she kept on saying, okay, can I move like 3 days before and all of that? That's fine, And then all of a sudden, I said, she sent the security deposit. I said, okay. We sent out the list to her. Red flag number 1, she did not respond to the lease agreement. I'm like, okay, this is the first. Then we started calling. It's most of the time is the other way around. When somebody gives you money, it's the other way around, because they are chasing you to give them the lease. But this case, the person wasn't. And then we send an email telling the person, you know what? If you don't, we can't hand over, because the landlord needs to sign on the other hand. You need to sign, then the landlord signs before we can give you the keys. And we kept on sending emails, no response. And we said, okay, if you don't respond by 9, the 10 a.m. appointment where you're supposed to move in, that cannot happen. No response. Then at 10:15, she calls. She says, oh, my U-Haul is already in front of the house. I'm like, yeah. What are you talking about? And then she was like, oh, I have babies in the car. The car is hot. I'm like, okay, we understand, but you still need to sign the lease. And then she kept on saying, oh, you know what? I cannot have access. I said, okay, we bring the paper copy for you. You sign, then we'll countersign later. And she was like, okay, that's fine. Okay, where's the rental insurance? Then she kept on, okay, I'll send it. Then later, we sent an agent out on the way. When the agent was on the way, we send it, then she sends it, and then the name on the renter's insurance is different from the name of the person on the lease. The person that
is supposed to live in the house.
Yes, and we were like, oh, who? She was like, oh, it's my sister. My sister made a mistake. Why would she? I said, okay, no problem. But you know that. And we said, okay, you can correct it. Keep on saying, oh, you know what? It takes 3 days for them to correct it. I said, okay, no problem. We'll give you the 3 days. However, we need your ID. Okay, you need to bring the physical ID. And at that point, it's like, okay, something is just fishing. Something is just not there's something just the same way you are feeling. Something is not right. Then we got there. She was not there. Then it was another 1 hour with 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Then we're like, okay, you know what? You need to come out clean. You're not the one coming into this house. And she started crying. Yes, it's my sister that wants to move in. Is this. I'm like, okay, it's not a problem. Your sister just needs to send her information, even if she has criminal record. Even if she has anything, we are going to support and help. All right? But trust me, a realtor will never catch whatever thing I'm talking about. A realtor will never. They wouldn't. But it's my instinct, and because of the experiences, those are the things. And then, guess what? At the end of the day, it's not even her sister's record. It's not her own record. It was somebody else's record. It's a false But how do you figure that things like that out? Those are things that, people bring fake IDs. So those are things that,
I'm just learning from you, honestly.
yes, you will not know. Nothing of these is in the book. Nothing of
It's not
this.
in the book.
It's
It's
not.
not.
There's
You
nothing
know,
that.
like you said, you always said something on your live stream, and it's true. You said you're not a good seller or something, and
Sales.
that's true because
Because all these things I'm saying.
most of the information that you dish out on your live stream, most people that this cost thing, buy my car, register, let me one-on-one and all of that, they won't spill. You're spilling a lot.
Trust
You're
me.
spilling
That was what
You're spilling a lot.
the person that was building my store. She was like, Dr. Lina, you're just. He said, you're just so you've given everything out. But I said, no, I'm not. No, I can tell you everything because I also want to give you. Some it's not everybody that can afford to come pay for whatever, and it's not. This is not supposed to enrich me. Yes, it's going to bring the money. Yes, however, if I had value, and you see that okay, you have learned this. If you're able to still run with it, good for you. But if you know that okay, you did it and you still need help, you know where to find me. You would come back to me. You know who to go to. If if you feel that oh, you know what, I've told you these things, can I still run it by myself? Then you can still do it. You have the information. Next time you'll be careful when you want to rent out, right? These are things you will watch out. But if you feel that okay, you know what, these I can't, I still need help. You can book a one-on-one. You can join the community. You can get a training. You can, what I mean. That okay, you know what? I'm not even going to make any mistake at all. I just don't even. I just want to get it right. Okay, you know that. Okay, let me book a time with her, and let's do a consultation. If you know that, okay, I know that I can, based on this information that I have right now, I'm going to watch out for ID. I'll look for renters insurance, but there might be some more things, right? Because I'm just saying some of the things that I've seen, fake ID, people using other people's record, but there's so many other things, right? That I might not even remember. It's not like I'm trying to hold back, but that I might not remember right now. But if I'm in a class and somebody, you now bring a scenario, and because right now it's not enough instances, maybe one day is when people are up like you are up right now, materialistic, right? Most of the days I'm teaching. So if you are in a class or you are in a one-on-one, that's when you can actually bring a situation like this to me, right? And we can talk about it and we're like, okay, oh Lori, how are you? It's been a minute. How are you? Welcome back. So these are, that's the value that comes with it, right? Like I don't know if you guys know this lady Mimi OJ, right? She will tell you everything, but can you still do what she's doing? You can't. That's why some people will still book some time with her. Yeah, they'll still book some time with her, and she would still do it. She would still tell you everything, but at this time, she's going to tailor it to you, to your personal needs. Because that's it. But I know I'm not a good salesperson. Of course, I never said study. I'm an accountant. I'm an economist. I'm a
I
tech.
think particularly most people in the US, UK that are not Nigerians, like the white people, they spill everything. They don't hold anything they spill. But the Nigerians that I know, like for example, the guy that I learned this S&P 500 thing that I went to his live stream, that really
Is this
made me
Steve?
to go back.
Is it called to
To
leave?
my fidelity. The guy, he's I think his one-on-one was £250. So, but I wanted to pay. I was like, no, let me just see if I can do this. I already have 401k with me. So, but his own teaching was tailored on UK. He stays in the UK, so he was talking more of trading 212 and all that. So when I went back to my fidelity and I checked that the money I put in previously has multiplied. So I called the customer service that guided me. I was like, oh my God, it's simple. So because I watch his live, so other lives pump like the wise guy too, is from US. Tell Lord, I understood it. There is nothing hidden. So when I went back to his live stream to go and give thanks to him, so it was like I wanted to spill everything that I did, just like I'm here now. Like, okay, this is what I did, this is what I bought, this is. He was like, no, don't say anything, don't say anything, please, don't say anything, tell me. Because if I say it, people that will pay would know what to buy. So Nigerians, they know how to do their sales thing, unlike the American people.
No, it's not. I don't think. Maybe I've changed my color. Maybe
No, but it's good. Like you said you're giving back to the society, and it's like kind of I'm giving back, and most people like most people don't even know. Like you said, there's a video of yours that went over 1 million views.
Yeah, almost 1.5 now.
And you see the kind of comments, you realize that a lot of people don't like. For example, when I came across a video that made me to even put in 1,000, I don't know what they were talking about. And when I called Fidelity, they were asking me, what do you want to buy? I don't know what to say. And he referred me to go to YouTube. And honestly, I went to YouTube and I didn't even understand. I didn't understand what they were saying. So I just logged that off to YouTube, and that was it until I came across this guy. And I was constantly going to his live, and I understood what. So that's how it is. So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, and that's why I always tell people, it's not like, yes, it's growing the YouTube channel, but at the same time, there's so many free resources there. You see the whatever the ETF that you're talking about, it's right there. I did this video maybe 5-6 months ago, and the thing about it is, a lot of people that, like I always say, there's so many free resources. A lot of people, when they do not pay for something, they do not value it. Okay, so trust me, if people were supposed to pay or something, you would see more people. People would not just come in and go. People would pay, and they would pay attention. I've seen it. My husband is a cybersecurity expert, and when he was teaching, and he would teach for free or whatever, give back, people would not. But the minute he started charging, they were paying him thousands of dollars. When people were paying $5,000, $10,000, guess what? People were serious. And I'm not kidding. People were not that they were not just serious. They started getting jobs. You don't know the number of people that it's created jobs for. Like, some of them are managerial positions, top positions up there, that it trained them, right? Wow. So yes, but guess what? The people that did not pay him, they got not. They still. But for every person that that invested. Because I call it investment, for every person, they took that information and ran with. Trust me, it's just a few people, just like you, that will take that information from that ETF guy, the one that you talked about, that ran with it. Some people would still say that, oh, it's a scam. Just like somebody came to my live the other day and you said you are stealing from people. And I'm like, I don't get it. So some people do not believe that people would genuinely give information freely without being paid. Oh, hello, Remy, thank you so much for the daily admin. Without being paid, they just feel that, okay, you know what? There has to be something in for this person. Oh, absolutely, there has to be something in for me later. But right now, I'm dishing it out. So at some point, I would start taking it more, I'm not dishing it out for free anymore. Then that's when people start saying, oh, you really need to pay. Like seriously, I literally paid. You don't want to know hundreds of dollars that I paid. Okay, come and set my store. What's in setting up of a stand store? Like what's there? Like literally, I can sit down and do it. But I've done it before. But guess what? Paying someone to do it the right way, do it So then of course it's not stand. It wasn't stand. It was Nest Huge, right? It was Nest Huge, but it was even way more than that, because we're building the community and we're doing all of it. I just want to make sure it's done right. But I'm paying to do that, right? So those are like really the things. But I'm glad that you were able to take something out of it and you're learning, But know that real estate is a little bit more. Just keep putting money in the safe in your. Change your account. Okay,
Yeah,
let's talk about that.
I'll do that.
Change your account. Open it. Let us not fight.
I will.
Yes.
Because I don't get all I get from Citizen Bank and West Bank of America is they put me on gold, whatever. Like if I call customer service, they immediately pick my call. That's all I get. Nothing.
And if you love love Bank of America very well, go back to your account officer. Tell them what is the high yield. I have a question about high yield. Okay, somebody said talk to me. What's it? If you want to come up, anyways, you can actually request and come up. So we'll soon be wrapping up. So Bank of America, ask them what high yield savings account program do they have for. They might tell you that you need to have a balance. So let me tell you, and I'm spilling, not me being able to not being a good salesperson. With my relationship bank is Chase, right? Okay, and because I'm a Chase private client with them, because of that, I went to them. I said, guys, I'm pulling my account because I have other places that would keep my money and whatever. I was like, what? And they said, and I asked them, so what investment programs do you, I mean, not investment, IE savings account programs do you have? Trust me, everybody's getting 0.01 with Chase. Me, I'm getting maybe 3%.
Are you serious? I'm going to do that.
Yeah, so ask them if they don't have it. But I put my money from Bank of America. Bank of America is the worst, but I put because I did not even want to deal with them again. I'm a what's it called, platinum or whatever.
Yeah, platinum.
I'm a platinum whatever, but they were still at some point, all of a sudden they started charging me maintenance fee. They charged it for like 2-3 months, and I said I'm done, and they could not figure out why they were charging me. They looked at it, everything looked good, okay, because I have relationship on Merrill Lynch side, okay. So they said they don't know the reason why they were charging me maintenance, and they could not stop it. So I said, my money out of here. My money out of here. You cannot not give me. I mean, it wasn't because all my money were more in the investment account, but because I have the investment on the side, I was trying to keep the bank account on this side. Does that make sense? Just so whenever I want to transfer money, it's easy. But I'm like, no, I don't even need the money in the investment. Let it stay there. So whenever I need my money, you guys will you figure it out. So, but they're doing it. Okay. So think about Capital One is a good one. So
yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Negotiate with them. Olori Ebi. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Okay, Marcos is 4%. Okay. That's Goldman Sachs. It's also good. Yes, it is. It is. Welcome. So what's been happening? We're just having question and answer, anything, or if you just want to say hello, that's fine as well.
I've not been seeing you online. I don't know why.
Oh, I have been. I come here. I'm here 12:30, between 12 Central Time, more like lunchtime. So, yeah, so I do that. But at night I join as well sometimes. But I've also been very busy. I'm building the community, the $1 million community, $1 million league, and I'm also building the $1 million league, the $1 million academy, the wealth building academy, and of course the training that we want to have on real estate, the free training that is coming. So that's what I've just been focusing on, just so everybody can learn to start building real estate, since I promised March and this is April around the corner.
Okay. Please, when I do something already, I want to be number one student. Please
Okay, yes, absolutely. Okay.
Now my question is this. I went to register with the SOFA for the IG account. Now, after the registration was done, I called them to know the requirement for high yield accounts. They gave me 3 options, which I don't know. The first option says I have to do what is called direct deposits from my place of work to the account. Number 1, number 2, or I pay $10 per month for them to open it for me to configure my account to it. Then the third one is to have at least $5,000 monthly at the account. So those three options, I wouldn't know how to go about it because my current place of work, my direct pay goes to my bank from America, and the process of the draft it back to SOFA is a very, very lengthy process, which
No, you can actually go to your
I wouldn't be
employer.
able to do. Then $10 every month as charges. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. My office is somehow complex somehow. For me to go and tell them to redirect my direct payment into that account might be a little bit creepy. So that's why I have not done that. So I just wanted to find out, is there any other options to use to get this thing done?
I think that's so far. I know that most of them would try to require you to have like a form of direct deposit, and you know that for your employer, you don't have to direct all everything. It can be $1. You know that you know what I mean. Out of your paycheck, it
Yes,
doesn't have to be
yes,
100%.
that option is open in my office sometime, but now they've stopped the options of doing the kind of 50-50 direct deposit. So 50 to your another account, 50 to this account. But I'm still looking at what I can do I just wanted to see if there's any other investment body or bank that is requirement is not as stringent as this one.
Let's anybody has opened an IU savings account. Let's ask the group. Anybody? Thank you, Tech Queen, for the Go Popular. Anyone knows about any IU savings account that they don't require your direct deposit or a different requirement? Anyone knows? Anyone can come up and if there's anyone.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Okay, so said Marcos. Wale said, so give me 1 second. Developer said you don't require, you really do not require pay. Okay. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Any.
Yeah, there are a lot of banks that actually offer HYSA accounts that do not require direct deposits.
Okay, which one?
There are many,
Can you specifically, so for the purpose of Mr. Olori?
Look, this is what I would say. I may not be able to remember all, all fair. What I would advise Olori Ebi is go online and search for HYSA best, of higher interest rates. You see a lot that popped up. And then you go through all the details.
The requirements.
Yes, the requirement of each of those online bank accounts. And then if you are satisfied with the requirement, then all you need to do is to open it right away. It takes 2 minutes to open or 5 minutes.
Yeah,
And that's it. And then you link your checking account from National Bank. You just link it direct to your HYSA account.
So, Mr. Annie, the issue is because he knows all this. The issue is he doesn't want to link his paycheck, right? He doesn't want his direct deposit in that account, right?
Yes, it's not necessary. Listen,
okay.
He doesn't have to do direct deposit
Okay.
with any of these HYSA account I'm talking about. There are many of them online.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have to. It's not required in some of them.
Okay.
And they have a better rate. So all you need to do is, like I said, there are a lot online there. See, I can't say this one is the best, that one is the best. Like when I had mine over 10 years ago, I think the rate then was about 5 to 6%.
Where do you have yours?
I have with Tab Bank.
Tab.
Tab, TAB.
Okay, Tab. Okay, and they don't require you to.
They are based in Utah. But one thing with HYSA is that everything is relative to the interest rates. If the federal government cuts or whatever, they will also reduce.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes.
So, Olori Ebi,
yes, sir.
I cannot give you a specific,
I get the point. account.
H-wise account. But the easiest thing for you is, which I'm telling you now, is just go online and search. You'll see a lot, and then go through each. And if you're happy or if you like what you are looking at, then you just apply. You don't have to do direct deposit.
Okay.
It's you that will now be doing the deposit. It is you that will be doing the deposit yourself. So it's not that you give your bank, or if you like, you can give your bank, like auto
pay. Auto pay.
Auto deposit, auto pay. So which means once your check comes in, they take that very amount you wanted straight to that account. That's it.
Okay.
So
That accounts.
Thank you so much, Mr. Olori.
I get your point.
Yeah. So, but I think developer had something to say. You did say Marcos in the.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I will just go straight. I think what Mr. Enikon, what he just said, yeah, it's actually correct. But I use Marcos, and Marcos gave, actually, I made a mistake here, like 3.65% plus 0.25% cash bonus total over 3 months. So, and you don't need to do direct deposit or anything. So you just connect your bank, as Mr. Eniko said. You just have to connect your bank. Then you can, you just like you want to do Zelle. You know when you want to do Zelle, to say once or you select the frequency, like maybe you want to be doing it every month, every week or something. So you just connect. Let's say you are Bank of America. Your paycheck is going to your Bank of America. So now you go to Marcos. You are depositing there. You can say, okay, you want to do it one time. Let's say you don't have money this month. You have money next month. Next month, you log into your Marcos and you transfer any amount you want to that place. Or maybe you want to be doing it every month. You say, okay, $50 every month, $100 every month. Now, Marcos will be going to your Bank of America bank account and be taking that money and depositing it there for you.
I'm just saying of this Marco for the first time. I didn't know there's any bank called Marcos.
Yeah, Marcos
See,
is by
See, here, all you need to do, Mr.
Yes.
Yeah, right here. Just go there. Best IU savings account in. Best IU savings account. Like I always show it to people. March 2026. That's it. You see Capital One there. You can see. Let me bring it closer. Capital One. There's what's the second one? Sentia. There is Fort Bright, Barclays. CIT. There are just so many of them right there. You can see as many, and you just look at their terms and condition, right? What's the requirement? Okay, you would see some of them that you are able to. They will even give you some almost like a sign-on bonus. The fact that you sign in with them, they will give you some maybe $300 or whatever. So wow. That's your answer, right? So you just look at the requirements of each and every one of them, and just see the one that fits your needs.
Thank you very much. There one more question.
Yes, sir.
I opened this account, Chime card or Chime.
Chime. Mm-hmm.
Chime. I want to know the way it works. I'm not yet long. This is my 3rd year in the US, so I'm not yet long. I don't know a lot of things in the US.
So Chime, is it the credit card or is it Chime?
Initially, I want to get a credit card. Mm-hmm. That was my initial goal.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I don't know how I stumbled on that account, and
if you don't need it, then don't use it then. If you don't need it, don't use it. If there's no need for it.
No, but when the card came, I noticed that it was a zero balance inside. And I said that I should push money into it myself.
So if you don't know anything about it, you just open the account,
I don't understand how does that one work. Does it mean
it depends. Did you open a debit account? Debit.
I just want to know how it works. Is it that a kind of credit card or debit to work? Does it?
So you will need to, what did you create? Was it a debit card or a credit? Which one did you?
The initial plan I have is this. I wanted to get a credit card. That was my goal. When I
Okay.
went online.
Okay.
Maybe
I have
they
to
offer
credit.
them secure credit card.
That's what I'm thinking. So that's why, because the two options, there can be a debit card and there be a credit card, right? But if all you wanted to do was a credit card,
It's a secured,
it's a secured credit card. That's what you got.
secure credit card.
Mm-hmm.
But
So-
what I noticed was that there wasn't any money inside.
You will need to fund this.
You will be the one to put that money in.
Oh,
If you want,
okay.
exactly. If you want a secure credit card, you are the one to put that money in. So that money you put, the amount you put will be your maximum limit on that credit card. So as you spend that money, you pay back the money. It's your money.
Yeah.
It's not the bank's money.
But what that helps you to do, because the question then now is, so why do I need it? It just helps you to build your credit. Because think about it, credibility is it. Okay, we're talking about credibility. Because you are very new, they don't know you. You know, you don't have any major record, right? So they cannot, you're not getting they can't give you an unsecured credit. Secured, and it means that it's backed up by something. Just think about, when you take a you want to take a loan from the bank, you get use a collateral to get the loan. In this case, because you don't have any record, they can't trust you enough to give you the credit card, because you could just take the credit and run away.
What
So
actually happened is I have two credit cards currently. I have two credit cards that was money inside. So I've used them for the past almost 3 years right now. So the two of them, of course, I have some credit on debt, some debt on them, because I'm paying, but the money is much on it. So I went to my bank of America. So the cashier then said I should stop using those credit cards. If I can pay them up, I should pay them up, so that the interest they're charging is getting too much. I should go and get another credit card, so that I will be free from paying interest at least for the next 15 months. Instead of me using those credit card and I'm paying too much interest on them because of the money there. So that was what made me to say, okay, let me go and look for another credit card, so that I will suspend the one I'm having with me. I will just be paying them. I will not use it again. I will just be paying them until I finish paying it. So that was why I was looking for another credit card.
But
Do you understand me?
yeah, so but why are you using it? I mean, I'm not, and I'm sorry, but if this sounds, if you are, if you're trying to get out of debt and you're getting you're still accumulating debt, that's it has a counter effect. So why don't you just keep doing cash and try to pay some of this money down, if you understand what I mean? Because you're getting another credit card, you're just accumulating more credit. I mean, it's still debt. You know what I mean? So what I would have done, if you've figured out, okay, this is really high or whatever, try to negotiate the rates down. You can actually negotiate. Yes, you can. You go and meet them and tell them this is the situation, because if they cannot reduce it, if you don't pay, then you don't pay. The worst they can do is that your credit is bad or whatever. There's nothing, right? So go to them and go and negotiate with them. That's one way. Then the other part of it that you can do is you can decide not to say. You can say that, okay, you know what? Now I'm very disciplined. Yeah, now I'm very disciplined. You can actually take a balance transfer, and that's what I want to talk about. Motto balance transfer, but that's not what they did in his own case. Balance transfer, consolidate all of those two credit cards that has high balance, put them. They're going to charge you a transfer fee. That's why I said you have to be disciplined with it, but the interest rate will be way lower. So the interest, maybe you are paying 27% APR right now on each of them, right? You can now be able to, they can say it's 15%, they can say it's 12%, and then you are going to be paying. Go ahead.
I will transfer the two of them on one account.
Yes, to consolidation. Yes, but
Excuse me, there's a caveat to that balance transfer.
Yes.
In as much as it is good if you can consolidate all the debt to one and do a balance transfer, balance transfer, apart from the transaction fee he has to pay, it also has a limit, maybe for 12 months or maybe for 15 months, 0% for 15 months or 21 months. So after 18 months or 21 months of that balance transfer of initially 0% APR, the interest rate the interest you will be
jump.
paying after that time will be like 20 something percent.
Yeah.
So he has to really, he has to really sit down and be financially disciplined and try to figure how is he going to go about to pay. Listen, he has no shortcut other than pay off that debt, stop anything, credit card or whatever, try to pay that off, and then start on a clean slate. So you now know that yes, you are now focused, you are disciplined in terms of, how to build your credit or how to do whatever, because that debt you are owing on those two credit cards is already in your credit history. So there is nowhere you go that it will not go with you. Okay, even if you consolidate the debts into one, okay, it will still be in your credit history. So a borrower will be looking at you as somebody like, oh no, I don't think this guy can pay this money, or a lender will not really, even if you try to bargain, you might not be lucky to get a good rate.
I think I have another better approach though.
Okay, go ahead, developer.
Yeah, so I've done two things before in the past. I believe out of the two things, for now, because he said he just he has been here for like 3 years, I don't know if that second option he will be able to do the second option. So the first one I did, I have credit union. So, and when I realized that, because there was a time that I lost job, and I have very good amount of money on my credit card, a lot of money. So I was like, how can I reduce this debt, right? So what I did, I went to my credit union, because I know loan is like around 8, 9, 10%. Credit card is more higher. So I took loan and I used loan to pay off the credit card. So the loan reduced my interest significantly all the way down for me. Then when I paid that, so I was able to discipline myself not to touch the credit card. So I consolidated even the amount. Let's say on your credit card, you have 3 credit cards and you pay $200 every month on each credit card. So that means you are paying $600 to serve your credit card every month. So, and you have let's say the total amount you are owing on the all credit card, let's say $15,000. Now you walk into the credit union is more better when it comes to loan, but it's good to have someone inside for relationship's sake, because the manager can actually approve you, even if maybe they run your credit and say, oh, they can't approve you. If you have a relationship with them, they can actually approve you. Okay. So I paid off all the credit card with that loan. Then the amount I was paying on the loan, maybe around $300. So that means I'm keeping extra $300 every month instead of paying the credit card $600, and the interest rate has dropped significantly. Now, what I now did, because I've extended my monthly spending, I'm kind of comfortable with that $600. So instead of me to be paying $300 and be keeping $300 and be using it anyhow, so I keep paying $600, that same $600 to the loan. So I'm cutting my loan life. If my loan is 5 years, I'm cutting it down to 2.5 years while I'm paying low interest. So that means I will pay off faster and I'm not paying much interest to them. That is the first option I've done before that works perfectly for me. At the moment you pay off your loan to your credit union, if you go back again, they will still give you money. So that was the first option. The second option I've done, it worked for me. Doctor, and I want you to, it worked for me doesn't mean that it worked for other people, but I want to say so that for people at home.
Oh, that's absolutely. You are blessing. Go ahead by all means. And if anybody wants to join, please feel free to request. You have any input? It's all about that tonight. And let's keep tapping out the life, okay? But
so
thank you.
The second one, You know, if you're being in the country and you are doing maybe full-time job, you have 401k. So my 401k, I have a couple of money sitting in there. You know, so, and I realized that, okay, I'm owing this money on credit card and I want to pay this money. So how can I pay? So I look at the loan option. Loan is giving me like 10%. Then I look at my 401k. I have my money in there sitting. If I apply for loan, it's to show my credit that I'm applying for loan. But the money on my 401k, it is my money. They are using the money to trade for me. So I'm making profit. If I look at the profit I made in 1 year, I look at the gap. If my profit in 1 year on my 401k, looking at the whole document, I realize that the money I'm paying to service the loan, the interest, is even more than what I'm making on 401k. So what I did, and I called my 401k, I said, if I want to take a loan for my 401k, don't forget I have a full-time job, and I kind of had like assurance that I'm not losing my job anytime soon. So then I called my 401k, I said, how much can I borrow from my 401k? They gave me that I can get up to 50% of what I have in my 401k. I said, okay, no problem. What are the implications? They asked me, okay, if I lose my job within 90 days, I have to pay the entire money back. I was like, okay, let me go do this thing. I'm not losing my job right now. We'll be supporting it with prayer. So what happened at the end of the day, they gave me the money. After they gave me the money, right? I asked them, is it going to show my credit? And they said, no, it's your money. It can't show your credit. So nobody's pulling my credit. I took the money. I pay off the credit card. They gave me 7% interest rate. That interest rate, I'm still the owner of the interest rate. I am paying myself the 7% interest rate because I'm losing on the trade market. The money they're supposed to be using to be trading for me, I'm already using that money to pay off my loan. So the 7% I'm paying, I am paying myself. So I'm not losing anyway. The only thing is that I must not lose that job at that time, because if I lose the job, I have to pay the money back. If I don't pay it back, then that is when the government tax will kick in. They will now charge me, I will lose almost 35% of my savings, then that of my 401k. But I did that and it worked for me perfectly. I was able to save a lot of money during that time. So I don't know, as I said, I can work for other people, but it worked for me perfectly.
Thank you, Mr. Developer. First of all, the question is that how did you even accumulate that? We need to have a conversation. How come you accumulated that amount of debt? But we'll talk about it. Let's pack it. You know,
No, I
okay, no. But I like the first. I like the first one. You don't need to. I'm just kidding. But really, I know life can be life at times, so it's okay. So far, whatever you use it for. However, I like the first one. I like the first one very well. The second one is what I'm always careful about. Okay, because most of the time, when it comes to your future, your 401k and all of that, I'm always very careful, because if you are not disciplined, you think that you are paying yourself back and all of that, and because of that, you will go back. If you are not disciplined, you go back to this cycle. So you are not just losing the current money of today, you are losing the money of the future as well. So So for me, if you are still working, do everything. If you have to drive Uber, ride Uber. If you have to work extra jobs, if you have to reduce your bill by half just to pay off that debt, I would say use that strategy, because most of the time I realize that they'll take the money. Am I not just paying myself? If I don't pay it, they end up with what you said, the 35%, and something happens. That's the other reason why you hear me about when people say that they want to use equity line of credit. Even though these are fantastic strategies, going to save you money, but you could also lose your home to it in the process if you don't pay it off, or if you are not disciplined enough. But everything, fantastic strategy, is going to save you money, but you have to be disciplined.
Can I have the one more question?
Yeah.
This trade homes, can you just walk up to them, call them, and tell them you wanted to borrow a loan with them, or you must have an account with them first?
Which one is trade home?
Is it credit
Credit union.
Credit union.
Credit
rather.
union. No, you have to open an account with them. That is the first step to build
You need
relationship.
to have an account.
Okay.
You need to have an account with credit union banks, any of the credit union banks. If you don't have an account, they won't give you a loan. And if they give you, the interest will be so high.
And it's not so, the building an account with them is not really crazy. It's really simple. So it's not like it's just like your regular bank. It's except for a place like a Navy Federal. Navy Federal that would require you to be in the military or something, or your family to be in the military. Most of them just want you. And then you can also ask them about IU savings as well. Some of them actually have some very decent IU savings account program as well, even up to like over 5%. So ask them as well.
Sorry, can you mention any of the credit unions that you know so that I can search for them?
TDCU. I know TDCU.
Just go on Google.
Excuse me.
Yeah, just check.
Let me say this. Sorry. Let me just ask. Olori, where are you located in the state? Which state?
Indiana.
Okay. Then go online and search for credit union banks in India now, or the city you are. You will see a lot of them that popped up. Then walk into any of those banks, any of those credit union bank. Because if I tell you the social credit union, you may not even have that credit union bank in your city, where you live. So go online and search for credit union banks in there now, or whatever city you are, Indianapolis or wherever. And then they popped up, and then you walk into one of the branches, and then tell them you want to open an account. They open it for you.
Yeah, and just say thank you so much for that, Mr. Eddie, and just put best. I always say put best, and make sure that what's their own. When we say FDIC, they have their own protection. Just make sure that it's backed by the right insurance. Credit union have their own. Is it not FDIC as well? I think it's FDIC. It's protectors. You protect your money up to $250,000. Just so if it goes down, you still get your money. It's backed by the U.S. government.
I mean, for example, where I am here, I have Reliant Credit Union account. Okay, so I don't know what yours will be called over there, but like I said, just go online. You'll see a lot of them there.
Exactly. So read the reviews as well. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah.
So I have a question.
Okay, go ahead. Develop it.
And this question, I've not seen nobody has ever answered me correctly.
Okay.
Or so don't blame me.
No, it's okay. If I cannot answer you, I'll tell you I don't know.
You see this 4%, 3% we are talking about. It's very small in my own house. The way I'm looking for money.
So what's your question?
So my question is this, and
It's looking for 100%. It's looking for 100% interest.
No.
What's your question?
So here's my question. My question is actually not about that. So my question is this. So I've watched a couple of your videos. You talk about real estate and all that, right? And I've seen a lot of people talking about saving money for your kids, for their education, and also for your retirement and all of that, right? So apart from, I have what we call IUD or IUL, this whole thing. But here's the thing: I am kind of thinking that retirement, life insurance, because at the end of the day, whatever we are doing right now is for this moment, and also when we pass and we leave something for the family so that they won't suffer or something. So now I was thinking that, okay, you see that I have real estate that I can say, okay, I have this, I have that, and maybe do all the regular protection over it and, get things right. Then also, or should I just put money? If I put money on life insurance, if possible, I have $5 million in life insurance. Let's just say that. And I'm servicing maybe the $5 million with maybe $1,500 every month. So if I look at it, let's say my enemy dies today, then $5 million is sitting, right? If it's real estate, maybe I'm not going to be, I will be spending more than 1,500 every month to service real estate. Let's say real estate is even bringing money every month as well. I've done a lot of calculation on my head, and I realized that maybe having non-physical investment, let me put it that way, maybe might be more profitable.
What's non-physical? What do you mean by non-physical? Non-physical, IUL?
Yeah, like IUL, that is not physical.
Okay.
Maybe that one will give you more money later in the day.
Okay.
Then another major thing with the real estate that I always calculate is that, okay, if I leave this, I make money from this. If I calculate everything I'm going to make, let's say I bought a house 500,000 or 300,000, let's put it that way. I pay the rent and all of that, the tenants pay off the mortgage and all of that. We run the calculation after 10 years and all of that. We check the value of the house. Then what will be, I don't know if you remember, I dropped a comment long time ago that what will be the value of the house, or, I mean, it's also running against inflation or something. If the house is 300, in the next 10 years, 300 might be worthless. So I'm trying to understand the investment on that side, either real estate, like that will see something physical.
Okay.
Or I don't have to even.
Or insurance. Okay. So.
Yeah, insurance. Yeah.
So what I always talk about, and I said somebody, Tech Queen already said, it's the wealthy. Okay. When I say wealthy, multi-millionaires and the billionaires. Okay. That's what I always look at. That's where, because I need to look at the role model. Okay. Right. Where do they put their money? The first thing that they will talk about is the stock market. The second thing is real estate. Okay. IUL, is then my stand with IUL, and I'll talk about this because everybody always asks about this IUL. I'm still looking into it. They said it's good. It's insurance and it's insurance and it's also an investment. According to Dave Ramsey, he would say that it's either you are doing insurance. If you are doing insurance, do insurance. If you are doing investment, do investment. And I almost want to agree with this with Dave Ramsey, okay? Because he's a multi-billionaire or he's a billionaire, right? So he knows what he's saying. Okay, so with that and with what I've also seen with IUL, people always say that it depends on who sets it up for you. If the agent sets it right, it's okay. If the agent does not set it right, you are in soup. So for me, how do you know the agent that sets it right? Because you don't even know what you're getting into. So having said that, that's the issue of the IUL. So you can get insurance, okay, or you get the right education and make sure that whoever is setting it up for you is setting it up correctly. Okay, that's IUL story. Now, when you are talking about, okay, where should I invest? There's something called diversification, and that's what I talk about here. I talk about generational wealth, right? I talk about, somebody said it's not an investment, is your future, design for future and structure, okay? So, which is what I just said, okay? Now, whenever I talk, I always talk about two things. I say the two things where the multimillionaires and the billionaires put their money, which is to spread their risk. One is the ETF. That's one thing, and I think you talked about the 401k, but you also want to have a bit of the brokerage account as well on the other side, where you typically just buy, S&P. Keep it simple. I will talk about four things, right? Keep it simple. S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, dividends, and if you like, and you don't want to do traditional real estate, do REIT. With that, you already have 900. You are invested in 800 to 900 companies, okay? And I'll show you guys should remind me. I'll show you something, after this, so you understand the reason. So you are already diversified into 900 companies, fantastic 900 companies or 800 companies in the United States. That's it. So the other part of it, when it comes to real estate, I also add that into the mix for me because it accelerates the wealth journey. Okay, it keeps it. Let's not mix. I'm not holding anything back. Because real estate, ETF will pay you, the best it can give you is growth. The other thing it can give you is some cash flow from dividends. right? That's the best it can give you. But when it comes to real estate will pay you in 4 different ways. You have just mentioned about the cash flow, right? That's what, you get some money, and then you talked about equity. But when you say that, okay, inflation, right? Then real estate is what helps you to edge against inflation. Because if real estate, by statistics, and I always say trust but verify, go verify. Real estate, if you buy it right in a right place, it grows about 10%, like every single year. So it means that in 10 years your property is going to double its value, right? In 10 years. That means, so even at inflation, right now inflation is at 2.5, so you are already edged against 7.5% of it, right, by using real estate. So you are still way ahead. Okay, so when you talk about inflation, and that is just appreciation, but remember, somebody else is paying, a tenant is paying for your, what's it called, okay,
Mortgage.
it's paying the mortgage, right? So whatever you owe in the company in your property is reducing every single time. So it means your ownership is increasing. Then on top of that, you are getting some cash flow difference between, and the last part, which, if you're high income earner, right, you're above 6-figure salary, you can easily file some tax deduction, fantastic good thousands of dollars that you can file every single year on a particular. So those are just the 4 benefits, like it's like 4 paychecks when it comes to real estate. So for me, if you need to ask me, I'm not going to say go do real estate. That's not what I preach. I talk about the real estate, and I also talk about the ETF. Those are the 2, okay? And you can go on Google right now, go on ChatGPT. Where does the wealthy put their money, right? The multi-millionaires, not millionaires, multi-millionaires and the billionaires, where do they put their money? Is that first 2 that I talked about, index funds and real estate. That's the first 2. I did not see, the insurance or IUL. I didn't see it there. So I cannot, it's not going to be on the top of my list, And the reason for me is that I've lost close to $100,000 in the stock market listening to whatever noise is on the street. Right now, I am just solely laser focused on wealth building. The way the multimillionaires and the billionaires, the way they build their wealth, and that's what I follow strictly. Not because I don't respect IUL, even if they're, the best I can do is go get my life insurance, right? Yeah. Does that answer your question, Mr. Developer?
Yes, so
Okay.
I have ETF. I don't know if you remember, I think some days ago you talked about it. I mentioned that I have ETF with Stash. So, yeah, I think the takeaway from everything you said right now, somebody also posted is diversification, like to diversify, to make sure that you spread your risk and, watch basically what you're doing and just spread your hand and stay focused and see which one is doing better and all of that. I mean, yeah.
I don't even think which one is doing better. I'm just putting it there, okay? So it's not which one is doing better. I'm not doing comparison. I am investing. It's almost like a sequence, right? It's almost like a sequence. So Mayalistic is still here. Right now, she's in the process of buying her first rental property. But at the same time, she's putting okay, let me just keep it simple. It's 3 layers or 4 layers that I talk about. Your emergency fund, right? Your emergency fund goes into your IU savings account. Build the first 1 month, then 3 months, 6 months, okay? After, right? That's number 1. Number 2, high interest debt. You are paying that off, right? You're taking that because you don't have a business in investing. If you have high interest debt, right? Anything above 10%, you don't have any business. Then number 3, you start with ETF, okay? That's investing, simple S&P 500, like the ones that I talked about. Just put some money there. Just keep, because that is going to help you build the capital. If you now want to go to real estate, remember, real estate requires some decent capital, right? Or like ETF, you can buy ETF of $1, right? Real estate require you at least 3.5% or 20%. So you build the money, right? The money in your ETF, let it be growing. S&P 500 returned 18% last year, okay? So instead of you saying you are waiting and putting it in a savings account, put it in an ETF, let it be growing, okay? Then once you get the down payment, capital, it gets to the down payment for the real estate, at that point you're getting the education that you need, right? Then you go ahead and buy the real estate, okay? Then you buy the first one, then the process, you start it all over again. Not emergency for, remember you finished emergency, you've paid off the debt, those two are just foundation. Then you go back again, build the money in ETFs again, let it grow, then transfer to real estate, then you're growing it in as much you're working till you get to the portfolio that you want to build. That's it. And then once you get to, if you want 5 properties, you want 3, once you get to that level, or you want $1 million, and which is what we are trying to build here, $1 million academic, $1 million league, that's what we're building here, right? So, and that this is the same structure I just told you, that's what we're doing. So once you get to that $1 million status, then you start paying back. You have the, the net worth of, not net worth, the asset of the 1 million, then you start paying it off every single, once you finish paying it off and you have your 1 million status, 1 million net worth, then you can decide to say that, okay, you know what, you already have your real estate, now you can now focus just strictly on ETFs or ETF, or invest in, who says you cannot buy McDonald's? Go franchise, go business, go, I'm not in the business, I don't tell people put money all in one, no. Put it, spread it across. So far, it's solid places where the multi-millionaires and the billionaires. Let it be your blueprint. Use it. You would achieve the same thing. There's one thing that they say, if you cannot reach if you aim for the sky, if you don't get to the sky, you get to the moon. I don't know if it's correct. My geography is bad. I only know about money and numbers. So, but you understand what I mean. Even if you don't get to that, yeah. I hope that answered your question. Said somebody asked a question. Tech Queen, if you want to come on, are the ETFs protected from? No, they're not. They're not. They're in the stock market. ETF are basically exchange traded funds, right? ETFs are basically shares of different companies, stock of individual companies like Amazon, Apple, the top 500 companies, stocks of them inside one basket, right? Inside one basket, you are just buying that. So instead of you saying, I want to buy Amazon, this one, then you want to buy Starbucks because you like Starbucks, or if you want to just buy one basket, 500 of it, all the top 500 in America, they are there. Or you can decide to say you want to buy the entire US stock market, just buy it. Or you can say you want to just buy the entire international, you don't like US, just buy it. So that's what ETF is. And it is not, of course, because there are stocks in there, it still goes with the volatility, right? With everything happening right now, the reason why I always talk about ETF, or where the multimillionaires talk about ETF or invest in ETF, think about it, the way the stock market is down right now, right? It's crazy. Guess what? There are some of the stocks inside the S&P 500 that is still at 40-something%. XOM is growing at 40% right now, or 40-something%. So what does this mean? Even though there are some other, maybe tech is going down. Can you mute yourself up, please? Mr. Emmy, can you mute yourself? Can we unmute so that, yeah, if everything is going down, Nvidia is going down, all of those things are going down, there is energy that is there, like Exxon is going up because of whatever is happening in the world, is holding that portfolio, right? So even though the market is down at a certain, I don't even know, I think it went all the way to 7% or something, or whatever. I looked at it on Friday. But guess what? It is still holding the portfolio. So, but it's still, the volatility is definitely there. However, we are here for long term. So whatever I talk about here, look at it 10 years, right? We work 45 years and it's okay. Clocking 9 to 5, 45 years. But when it comes to investment, everybody wants it now. So thank you so much for the daily admin. And if you haven't followed, you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, do that. All those things I'm saying is there, long form video. That's why I always talk about my YouTube channel. And there's going to be free trading on real estate, right? It's coming very, 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 very soon. It's actually going to be in April. So I'm thinking April 11th. My birthday is April 8th. So I'm thinking maybe after my birthday, and we'll do that trading. Free training one time. After that time, it's either going to be paid or I don't do the training again. Okay, so now is that your opportunity. I'll put it out so you can all register for it. And for me, somebody said I can't search. I don't want. Is that IUL that you're talking about? Mr. Gregory said, Doctor, you have a gift from good Lord. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, God is good. God has blessed me. And there is no reason why I would not bless others, right? That's the least I can do. God has indeed been he has blessed me. Yeah, thank you so much. And Mr. Gregory is one of the community member that sorry about that, community member that is retiring he's already retired at 52 or 53. And the same thing, what I've just said is just, he will tell you. He said, we want to build wealth just this exact way. And we have people that retired at 53. Somebody is retired at 65, Mr. Kejan. Retired at 55, 60, retiring this year, 1 year. And guess what? He's just working because he wants to work. He has rental property. He has over 1 or 2 million in his portfolio. So, and they just follow the same principle. Not get rich quick scheme. Not get it. And Mr. Eni, you wanted to ask a question.
Yeah, I want to ask you, how about bonds and treasury bills?
Yeah, they are also very good. They are very good. It's just that I don't think the returns, how is the returns? The rate of, are they even up to 5% in the United States?
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's up to. I don't know. But from my own research,
Yeah.
it's like it's advisable to also invest in bonds or treasury bills.
So if you are older, you are going towards retirement, because it also is a function of the age bracket. If you are closer to retirement, right, you don't want to put yourself so much into exposure because you don't have so much of years. But somebody in his 20s and in his 30s, they have so many years, 10 years, okay? They have 10 years, they have the time on their hands. That's why they always say time in the market always beats timing the market. Okay, that's it. So if you are closer to retirement, yes, you have to be almost a risk averse, right? Your risk tolerance should be very low compared to somebody that in his 20s, in his 30s, their risk level will be medium or high, closer to high. Because even if there's a market correction, the market goes down by 50%. Think about it. The people that lost, the market was at the worst 2008, right? But guess what? As the market has rebounded maybe times 20, times 10 times since that time. So imagine people that in 2008, right? There's 2018, 2028, that's 20 years. The people that left their money there or that bought at 2008, trust me, they are multi-millionaires right now because they have the whole 20 years to their advantage. But if the people that were like, maybe they bought in 2007 and they were retiring at 2010, that would have impacted them significantly. But somebody that is in the market for another 10, 15 years, trust me, they would, the time in the market, even the rule of 76 says, even with all of the downfall or whatever in the stock market, rule of 76 still says that even with a S&P 500, you double your money every 7 years. So it's already taking into account correction happening and all of that. So, but I totally understand and agree. If you are closer to retirement, is a different plan. So that's why whatever thing I always say, I'm not your investment advisor. However, whatever I'm saying, it's very generic. Okay, so if you want something that is very tailored to you, you can decide to now say, okay, you want to book a one-on-one, like I was saying earlier. You can book a one-on-one consultation where we just talk about it. Okay, what's your income? When is your retirement? Is it 5 years? Is it in 10 years? Should we even do S&P 500, right? And because what is going to work for somebody that is in his 20s is different from 30s, is different from 40s, is different from 50s and 60s. Right? So a friend of mine, he was like the mom was like, oh, should I pay off my mortgage or should I invest it, buy a rental property? And I said, your mom is retiring next year. Tell her to pay off her mortgage. Right? But if somebody is in his 40s or 30s, I was like, why do you want to pay off your mortgage? It doesn't make sense. Why are you paying it off? Just go use it to buy another rental property. So those are like the unique things. But what I can spill is something that is very generic. So, and if you want to book like a one-on-one, you can find the link in Stan Store, and we can do a one-on-one. You can ask me any question, real estate, your portfolio, you want us to look at it and all of that, we can definitely do that in that call. But definitely bonds is not, it's a good one. It's good. It's just that I don't know. I think it's like 5% is high savings account. You can as well just not expose yourself to anything at all and just put it in high savings account, guaranteed money. Like, yeah. Okay, go ahead, developer.
Yeah, so sorry, I'm still going back to 401.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Annie, does that answer your question? Or Mr. Olori? I'm not sure the person that asked that question.
Yeah. I think you've answered the question. I think the major thing is, depending on whether the person is closer to retirement or not. So it's not every investment that is good for everyone.
That's correct.
You have to be very, very, how do I put it? You have to be very, very practical. So it's not because S&P is making it, other stocks are making it, ETF is doing well, that. You have to factor in how longer or how many years do you think you want to do this, and it also depends on the level of the risk of individual.
Risk tolerance, yes.
Yeah, risk tolerance. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's why, I always say, even with the $1 million league, the community that we are building, I said 10 years. So from 2026 to 2036, so far, you have 3 requirements. You are going to get to that $1 million status. Except there's no reason. If you follow these 3 principles and you stick with it, you are coachable, you will get there. Right? You will get, it's almost like confident that you will get there. Millionaires are not made from another planet. They are right here. I've been there, so I can tell you, clients have done it, friends have done it. So, yeah. But let's talk about Mr. Developer.
Yeah, sorry if I'm still taking you back to
No, that's fine.
So, I think early this year, I was just looking at, okay, I mean, a lot of maybe young guys that they've been in this country maybe for 20 years, 30 years, and they started their career here. Even if they are putting like $100 on 401k, I believe by now they must have, having a lot of money. But coming from someone that, okay, maybe I joined corporate America like 10 years ago, and from there, putting 401k and all of that, I was like, okay, why can't I double it? So basically I doubled my 401k, then looking at my retirement age and everything, so that at least I will have more money in there. Now, I asked my 401k company, basically Empower. So I asked them, I said, do I have access to manage my 401k by myself? And they said, yes, I can manage by myself. Now, my question is it advisable to manage my 401k by myself, to take it to trade it by myself, or I should just leave it for them?
It depends on the return, right? You see the portfolio, is it doing well, right? If it's doing well, keep it with them. If it's not doing well, S&P 500 at the minimum is doing 8 to 12%. So whatever you are getting, is it beating the 8 to 12%? If it's beating it, then why take it out? But if it's not beating it, then maybe you're getting 7%, 6%, then you need to rethink. You already have the answer right there. And I know that this is, instead of you doubling your 401k, think about opening a Roth IRA. Roth IRA, difference between they're the same thing, okay? It's because they are focused they are for your retirement, okay? The difference between the two is that Roth IRA grows tax-free. What does this mean? It's already taxed at the source. So, like your 401k, it's not taxed, right? So you put money in it. Like, it's your full amount that is going there, not taxed. It's going to be taxed when you retire. That's when it's going to be taxed. Now, with Roth IRA, on the other hand, you are going to be taxed now. However, think about if you put $100,000 there now, after it has been taxed, right? If it grows, it doubles itself, it becomes $200,000 in 7 years, for instance. you are getting 200,000 in full in retirement. If it grows to $1 million, you are getting $1 million in full. Meanwhile, on your 401k, just the same thing, $100,000, it grows to 1 million. Uncle Sam is going to reduce your money to maybe like whatever your tax bracket is at that point. You might be getting 800,000. You're going to pay capital gain tax on it. So that's the difference. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. I will talk.
So if you qualify for it, typically I think it's 150,000 or whatever. I mean, depends if you're head of household or whatever. So you still keep your 401k. What I always say is that have your 401k to the level this is what I do. 401k to the level at which the employee match, like your company match, right? They are matching 3%, they are matching 4%. I am doing that all the way. Then the Roth IRA, which is 7,500 or 7,000 before, start putting money towards that. Let it grow tax free. Another one is health savings account, right? That you can use towards your health when you're old, right? At that point, or you can use it for your health even now. That's another one because that one also grows tax free.
All right. Yeah, I think as I'm talking to you, I opened my account. I think what I did because some companies they allow you to do Roth IRA also to keep your 401k. So I think I divided them into two. So 50% of my contribution is going to 401k and 50% is going to Roth IRA. Now my question is this: the company is contributing towards 401k. Now here's my question: are they contributing towards Roth IRA? No. Okay, so if they are not contributing towards Roth IRA, am I not losing money? The contribution of the company.
That's why I said your 401k, you're going to max out your 401k to what they're going to match. Remember, it's not that, okay, if you put 100,000, you think your employer is matching 100,000. No. They will match, they will say 3% of your paycheck, 6% of your paycheck. They could say 1% is what they are matching. You know what I mean? You know what your employer is matching. Some of them even says it has to be vested after 5 years or 3 years. So you need to know all those terms or those things that is attached to that 401k. Otherwise, they can even match it and you lose the money because it's not yet vested by the time you move.
I think you've actually explained, you've actually answered his question. He's just trying to ramble around. She has explained that, keep the 401k at the company's interest rate percent, maybe 3 or 5 or 4 or thereabout.
Yeah, they match.
Open your Roth IRA. Roth IRA, before they put money into that account, it's already been taxed. So build that up, which is also growing with interest. So you're not saying, are you not losing money if you are putting money in IRA? I don't think you are losing money.
Because they're not going to match it anyways. They're not matching it.
They're not matching anything. They're not matching it. But what I'm saying is that money has been taxed before going to Roth IRA, right? So keep growing that as well. So that keep growing, okay, to whatever amount or to whatever thing you wanted, right? So what was the third thing you said? I think you mentioned 3 things. Roth, 401k, and what?
No, I think those are the 2 that I mentioned.
Those are the 2.
Those are the 2. Yeah.
Okay, so.
Yes. So you're not losing money.
You're losing money. You're not losing money in Roth IRA because that money is also growing with interest.
Yes.
Okay, it's not reducing; it's going up.
It's
unlike the 401k that you are contributing 50%. At the end of the day, when you are about to retire or you are retired, all that money you put in will be taxed. So at the end of the day, you look at it, I have 100,000 here. How am I now collecting 25,000? It's because of the tax.
25,000. You're mean. You're so mean.
I'm not being quattro,
Yeah. Okay. And Teku said your responses are spot on. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
My last question in there, I think just one thing. So for Roth IRA, at any point in time, if I want to take from it, am I getting penalty?
Oh yeah, even for 1K. No, for 1K, you can take a loan and you return it, right? Rot, you
I'll
would,
get penalized.
yes, 401K is the one you can take money from. But why do you want to take money? Why do you keep taking money?
I always like to know.
Why? We need to look at you. We need to first you talked about who talked about credit card earlier?
I talk about it.
Then you're
Here's the thing. I always like to know.
No, that's fine.
Whatever risk or anything.
Don't,
I always like to ask questions.
please, don't mind me. I'm just
Whatever that is going on, I will know that I'm a risk taker.
I'm just kidding. Trust me, it's your money, bread. But out of all the jokes, right? Let's be factual. And I think I have quite a number of people that because I'm Nigerian American, and I'm not sure. I just wanted to. There are some people in that particular group that I'm talking about. We just a lot of times we take on so much debt just to look wealthy, just to look wealthy. But in the real sense, we are not. Okay, so, and this is I always like to put we're rounding up now. So this is a mindset talk, right? Mindset shift. Why not just be wealthy instead of trying to look wealthy? The problem is my friend bought a Mercedes, and we all know what I'm talking about. And because of that, you want to go buy a Mercedes. 77% of the luxury items are bought by the middle class. So it means that even the 1% and above the middle class, the real wealthy people, middle class are the 9 to 5, no matter how much you're earning. The real wealthy people take less than 23%. So it just tells us if we have to have a mindset shift. That's why we get to the 6-figure salary and they are bombarding all of us with credit card. Come and take black card. Come and get all of this. And we're using all of those credit card and accumulating debt for things that are lifestyle, I call it depreciating lifestyle liabilities, because it's going down the drain and then you're using your life to finance that because it's your life. Like when you work 9 to 5, you are going to do 40 hours again by when 20 on the 30th through the 4th or through the 5th. We are going to work again and we are going to use this to start funding depreciating lifestyle. These are just think about it. You are pointing towards the drain. All those Gucci, all those Fendi, and all those big names. I have them. I have some of them, but I don't use my life. My life. I don't trade my life for that, right? So that this one is even YSL. So I use them, but it's the investment that pays for it. And that's why you see the multi-millionaires and the billionaires, you see some of them on the private jet. You think they are working to buy those things. No, they're not. Is it that tax is paying for it? Or is one business that is paying for it? It is not their own time that is paying for that. Okay, so I just want us to, I always try to wrap up with this because I always say, if your mind cannot achieve it, you cannot. If your mind cannot perceive it, you can never achieve it. You think that, okay, the multi-millionaires are in the other world, right? Or the millionaires are in another generation. They are basic people, right? Only 5% of the ultra wealthy, of the multi-millionaires are billionaires. Less than 5% of them are trust kids. They are the ones that inherited wealth. That's what I mean by trust kids, right? And most of us are always beefing them. But who said your own father or my own father? Who says that we should not? Who said that we should not? How do I put it? Who said they should not make us trust kids? You have the opportunity to make your own kids trust kids right now. But guess what? You are spending that money on Gucci and spending it on Givenchy, or which one again? Louis Vuitton and MS, huh? Or MS, or what's it called? What's the other one? That is very Chanel and Louboutin shoes. Okay, so but guess what? It's good. But use it. Use your money, that money that you traded time for. Use it and go and buy an investment. Use that investment to now fund that lifestyle. That's how wealth is built. That's how wealth is built. That's how the multi-millionaires and the billionaires, that's how they build it. They delay the gratification. If you put 225,000, that's all that you put down. That's 22,500 every single year for 10 years, and you don't put anything else. At S&P 500, you get over $4 million to retirement, and you start at age 20. That's why time in the market always wins. You start putting $100 every single year from age 20 all the way to 65. You have over $1 million. You have it. Use your compound interest calculator right there. So, and you're thinking, okay, where is it's not possible to have $1 million. That's what the $1 Million Academy is all about. That's all it's just to prove it to people and hold hands with a lot of people. So like, okay, you know what? You can get there. It's not a big deal. It's not. I'll show it on paper and I would, then, but the only thing is that can you be disciplined? Can you? That's the thing. Can you be disciplined? Are you coachable? Are you able to follow it? Because during the time of pains, there's the season of 7 years, right? Even in the Bible says there's the season of plenty and there's the season of whatever, right? Make it the season of scarcity so that you can enjoy in the season of abundance. 7 years after, we love to join the $1 million league. That's what the community is all about. Yeah, that's coming up next month. $1 Million League. But we're going to be having the academy is going to be, like the live classes that we're going to have. That's going to be, but the community itself that it's going to grow. This is like 10 years journey, right? If you can work 45 years. One of my videos on Instagram right now, it's going 1.4. It's like 1.5 million views in 5 days or 7 days now. And it's basically me telling you, this is your life. $200 is what your life is worth for 10 hours. If you are earning $20 an hour. Even if you are earning $100 an hour, right? Decently earn. $100 an hour. What's your life worth for 8 hours? $800. It's just $100, 8 pieces. That's what it's worth. But what really matters is not even that money. It's what you do with that money. That's why I always say, if you earn 500,000, you're a doctor, you earn 500,000, and you take all your 500,000, you spend 400,000, 499,000 or 500,000, you spend it. You are not wealthy. Hi, how are you? We're wrapping up. If you spend everything, you use it on expenses, depreciating lifestyle, DLL, depreciation lifestyle liabilities, right? And just use it. Somebody that is making 100,000, right, or making 80,000, that is able to save 40,000 or 20,000 every single year, that person by year 10 will have $200,000. By year 10, he did not even invest anything, 200,000. But you that is making so much money, you go and get a big house. It's okay. You get a big car because you think you deserve it because you went to 12 years of medical school. What if you lose your medical license tomorrow? Life happens. Then what happens to you? One question I want to ask each and every one of us right here, right now. If you lose your income today, as we are talking, if that income ends today, right now as we're talking, how many months can you fund that lifestyle? How many months? Then you think you are wealthy. You are not. So far, you cannot fund your lifestyle. It's just basically you are doing paycheck to paycheck. That's the rat race. That's the hamster wheel. That's it. That's why people walk till, and that's why somebody like Mr. Gregory is retiring at 52. You don't have to retire. That's not what I'm saying. You don't have to. But work because you want to work. Not because you have to work to pay bills. The two different things. Work because you want to work, that is financial freedom. Work because you are paying bill, that is a life wasted. I'm not missing words as it is. Somebody said, oh, yeah. I'm sorry, but not sorry. But let's tell ourselves the truth. Because it's hard talk. These are things that we'll talk about in the $1 Million Academy. Right? These are things, because these are soft. Yes, it's financial slavery. Yeah, but who puts ourselves there? We do. Just simply put, why can't you just say 50%? You say, because I always say, even if you earn if you earn $10, how much is minimum wage? $10, right? Or $8. Tell me, are you not still going to pay tax? That's the minimum. I don't have money. Would you still not pay tax? You will still pay tax. But then when it's time for you to take your money to invest, you say, oh, the money is not enough, but you were able to pay taxes. Yeah, very deep. Yeah, thank you. Very deep. Depreciating lifestyle liability. Somebody is on my YouTube is saying it's okay. I'm angry tonight, but it's just a reality. Yeah, put your money. You want to build wealth the right way. Put your money in appreciating cash flowing assets, ACL, DLL. Right? Is that you choose DLL or you do ACL, appreciating lifestyle? Appreciating cash flowing assets or ACA or whatever, right? ACA, appreciating cash flowing asset. That's how you build wealth. Simple. A lot of time you think that you have to break your head on the wall. You have to work too hard to build wealth. No. Otherwise, if it's building wealth, if the richest people should be the people on the streets in the sun. You see all those people that are in, and I'm not, there's dignity in labor, not condemning or reducing anything. Whatever makes you money, decently, legitimately, do it. The people at Home Depot that is getting how much, those are the people that should be the wealthiest. But who are the wealthiest? The CEOs of the companies of this world. Some of them don't even, they're just one island. And guess what? We are all working as a slave, 9 to 5 every day, working for them, making them much richer. And you are blaming them. I don't blame them. It's just that one is wiser than the other. One decides because you don't know the price they paid. And even if it was the parents that paid that price, somebody fucking paid it. Sorry to use the word. Somebody paid the price. Who says, why can't you be the first millionaire generation? Why? It takes one person in one particular, it takes one person to say that, you know what, he ends here. Just the same way we are not, some of us could have remained in Africa and just stayed there. But you said, no, I had to. The same way you can decide to say that the food here is not the same thing back here, right? The hair there, you get discriminated. All of those kinds of things happen. But you're here. So the fact that you're here, why are you trying to impress anybody? You're trying to impress, you're trying to oppress. Like, they don't really care about you. Nobody cares about you. Nobody's going to pay your bills. Should I put money in my own what bank? Okay, I use savings account. Right? So basically that's really the truth. This is real talk. This is beyond investment, beyond money. It's about mindset shift. I always tell people, if it's for us, some of us are even better here. We have been here 2 hours, 3 hours. Some would watch Love Island. They will watch Love is Blind. They will watch whatever, Survivor and all of that. Read a book. It's a problem. See books. These are books. So if you want to be $1 million league, that's why I say you have to be coachable. It's not even about the money. If you are not coachable, don't join. Don't join, because it's serious business. I'm a doctor, I'm a lecturer. So it has to be worth my time. It has to be like, okay, after that 10 years, I have, even if it's 10 people, that's 10 million to my belt. This is 10 generations. It's like 10, because it's not just if he's a man, it is that man, if he's a woman, that person has already built, I've helped that generation, because it's not just about the money. You are leaving wealth for your children, but you are also having education. My teenager already has his credit card, which is as a, what's it called? Registered, authorized whatever. Authorized user. He already has it. The minute he turned 15, he has it. He has his, Roth IRA opened. That's it. If he's working right now, getting into, he's putting the money there, and I'll put money to the time when you start working. God bless you. You have not even been giving birth to. You will not put that money. You put the money, and then when you give birth, you will give my own grandchildren. You make sure you do the same thing for them when they become a teenager. So whenever I'm not talking about one lineage. No. We're going to be talking about probate. We're going to be talking about trust. We're going to be talking about, because you don't want to, another thing is that you don't want to make all this money and then, 25% or your 30% of your wealth stays, if you are old and gray, it goes to the government. No, you have all of those protections. Trust. No crazy person will come and sue you because they decided to fall themselves. They pour the water and the property and then they fall and then they sue you because it's your property. Those are things that we will also be talking about. So that's what it's beyond. You read books. We will have book club. You would. So if you are not ready, don't. This is serious business. If you are not ready, don't just even. Yeah. See, these are books. See. So I'm not telling you. It's all those things that I'm learning. You think it's see, it's still coming. I still have on the other side. See, real estate. All of them. Dave Ramsey, Tony Robbins. All of them I have, because you cannot learn education alone. Yes, I learned it in school. As a doctor of business, okay, and technology. But then I still had to learn it personally on experience and all of that. So be on the lookout for it. But I'm saying this so that you can be prepared. Even if it's just 10 people, that is 10 million to my. I have blessed. I am here for. My goal is to add value. Even if it's 10, that's done. That's good. I might just even take a few. Just like, okay, let's start with 10. And once that we get the 10, or we can say, okay, we start with 20. We start with 30. Once we get to that cap, so whenever it opens, just think about it, because once I get to the limit, that's it. Then maybe we'll wait again. Once the other people are properly coached and they get the education, then we can now say, okay, let's start with another cohort. Okay. And those one can now support, because it also has to be to the numbers, because we'll be talking about real estate, we'll be talking about start math investing, we'll be having book club, we'll be having, you'll be, and if you've not gotten six-figure salary, that's your goal, because that's part of the requirement, your credit. All of those are the things, because those are tools that we're going to be using, right? So all of that is what we're going to be talking about. How do we build it? How do we build it? Good afternoon. Yeah, someone said I'm not ready. It's okay if you're not ready. That's fine. It's not for everybody. So be on the lookout. It's going to come out in April. I'm going to be doing 3 things that is going to be coming out in April, right? It's my birthday month, okay? I'm Aries. It's going to be the real estate, how to buy your real estate within 90 days. That's that one. It's going to be free. Everything about real estate, we're going to be talking about that. That's going to be a live class, tentatively April 11th. But look out, if you haven't followed, follow and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Watch the video that is there on real estate. It's going to help you. So when you get to class, when some people are asking for questions, oh, great tech queen. Now, yeah, if they're asking you questions, you can already know, like 1% rule, all of those kind of strategies that, BRR strategy, house hacking, all of those things are there. So go, it's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. And on my YouTube, on my Instagram, is Money. I'm the same thing everywhere. You see my hair? I'm as natural as you can be. No makeup, no, that's it. So yeah, so that's coming. The $1 million league is coming. That's going to be a paid community, okay? Because like I said, it has to be people that are serious and ready, okay? Because goal is 2036, April 2036. Before that or by that, you should be in your I did not say 2 million. You can get to that, because if your income, if you're earning 300,000, your income can already, fund the whatever quicker. But if you are starting with 100,000 salary or whatever, or you aim to, you're still working, your might be taking a little bit longer. And if you're in a particular area where you are buying, your property might appreciate faster than the other, and it takes a whole lot of things that goes into it. So it's a journey. It's like a journey. But if you're so tired of your 9 to 5, you know that, okay, you cannot do this for 45 years. Or even if you do it for 45 years, then you want to be a part of that. You want to build generational wealth for your kids. You want to be a part of that. You're struggling with your kids' education, how to fund your kids' college. You want to be a part of that, because you are also going to be, we're going to be talking about those strategies, because that's how I got into real estate. 529 wasn't working, and that's how I got into real estate, planning to use it to fund kids' education. So that's it right there. And then the last one is going to be, it might just be, that one might be a recorded, like a master class, the Wealth Building Academy and the $1 Million Academy. So those are like the four that are coming in, between April and May. But for sure, the real estate is definitely. I'll put it out there. So register as quickly as possible, because once it's full, it's full. I'm not going to go and pay. I think Zoom is like, I don't know. I think Zoom has a limit. So once it gets to that limit, I'm not going to go and do like Mimi Oje that will pay $1,000 to get plenty people to our class. No, I'm not. Once it gets to that limit, it's done. So yeah. Anyways, I hope I was able to add value. Put one in the comment section. If I know everybody's angry with me too, because I've already talked, I've made people to think about. I've made people to be angry. Yeah, put one. Thank you. Thank Coin said one. Any other person? Anybody else? Okay. Developer said one. Okay, you guys still love me. Okay. I come like that at times. Now I'm back to Dr. Lina, the quiet, calm Dr. Lina. That's it. the one that okay, it's just two people, so every other person is angry with me, so I don't have value. I didn't have value tonight because I said the truth. Oh, are we all sleeping? So yeah, we're wrapping up right now. If you haven't followed, now's your time to follow. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. For subscribe, it's free videos for you. And I should have a latest video tomorrow as well. I put long form videos every Sunday. Okay, Sunday or latest Monday morning, you should have my latest. But other than that, I have so many other videos on real estate. Let me even show you so you see. I always say that because it just helps you. See, these are videos that they have there. Let's see, like VOO, QQQ. You see all those ETFs that I was talking about. It's right there. How to retire at 40. The one for real estate is right there. How to own your first rental January 2026. I've made that months ago, so you can, but it's still relevant. So just tell you step by step. You can binge watch, put it on the TV, and take your notes and take notes ahead of the class. Okay, awesome. Any other question as we wrap up? I've been here talking. I was going to just come for 45 minutes, but I've been here for so long. And Mr. Any developer, Olori, my Holistic, thank you all for making it fun tonight. Being able to ask all your questions and contributing, teaching us as well based off of your experience. All right. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for what do they call that? Confetti. So good. I did not get a one. I got a confetti. Okay, that means Mr. Olori still. I thought everyone was angry with me that I said the truth, but it's just the reality. All right, guys. All right. Well, enjoy your Sunday. Make sure that your money is working harder than you do. Yes, he said I'm blessed. You are blessed. Yes, we are all blessed. All right. Okay. Ensure your money is working harder than you do. Make sure you're not putting your money towards depreciating lifestyle liability. Put your money towards appreciating cash flowing asset. Okay. Salary pays bills, but asset is what is going to give you the financial freedom that you require. Awesome. All right. Thank Queen, everyone. Thank you so much for tonight. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and on Instagram as well. It's Money Talk with Dr. Lina. Olori Ebite, Queen, my Holistic, Anycon, Developer, Mr. Gregory, Lazy Mom, Treasure Vault, Moto G's, Tammy. Awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. Okay. Have a great night and stay blessed. Bye. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, Lord. What a day.